All right, welcome back to our tripartite confabulation, our tripartite journey. So I think we're doing like I guess we're all hosting, but this is Hans Utter of the Resonant State. We're joined by the, at the top is the extremely prolific author, investigator, podcaster, truth warrior, Mr. William Ramsey. Below him, Sean McCann, Wake the Dead, of the Wake the Dead podcast. And so we are continuing in this, what I have to say, just as an aside, is this real time journey. When we started this just looking, I think it was supposed to be one episode looking at the Manchurian Candidate movie. And look, it's now, it's continuing and we're kind of following, from the Charlie Kirk events to this document drop. So we're kind of keeping this momentum. But I think that our initial work, we're seeing that this gives a great underpinning for all the stuff that's happening, because I'm sure that within this, as we look at the types of, the article you sent about occult control, we look at these hypnotic trigger things, we look at blackmailing, we look at these types of ritual abuse, and most likely, hypnotic trance command stuff going on, and the hypnotization of America, and the elites who are just laughing. They're laughing as they drink the children's blood. I mean, this is no different from the priests in ancient Phoenicia. I mean, in fact, and they reference these things. These things are still, I hate to say it, but these things are still alive and they're still relevant, right? It doesn't mean these are still going as at least symbolic systems for the elite. So without further ado, thank you guys. Thank you all for doing this and continuing our Sunday night truth explosion. I have to say, we are at least one of the most plagiarized shows on the internet for sure, man. So anyways, all right. Yep.
Great to be with you guys again, man. This will be like our third episode on the Epstein files, but it'll be, I think, our 20th show, like our 20th Sunday night show or whatever we've been doing for Manchurian. It started August 2025, so it's been quite a journey. A lot of learning, a lot of understanding in this. Epstein, we're still understanding it. I mean, it dropped 23 days ago, 23. It's 23 kind of numerically occulted, I guess, if you know the 23 enigma.
Skidoo.
But, yes. Just keeps unraveling in the depth and the connections and the people and the stuff like that, and this ritual stuff. Like, what's amazing is how much these guys knew about esotericism, occultism, and the larger stuff, about Nabokov and all these things that kind of tie in and overlap with some of the themes that really in Manchurian Candidate, incest and things like that. So it's very dark, and the cover-up's just incredible. Like, I think that the mass media isn't even covering it at all. I think they're covering that Guthrie girl whose mom disappeared and so the talk about mind control or mass mind control, like, I think it's just really off the charts. It's just an incredible event because of how many people aren't dealing with it. But I think the younger generation is. And evidence of that is this man today. This is February 22nd. He's Austin Tucker Martin, got angry and tried to take the law into his own hands in vigilantism and attacked Mar-a-Lago and died.
Well, just notice though, again, okay, this could indeed be, just the guy just was fed up, or was he, so you notice he has three names. They always have three names, right? ATM, Austin Tucker Martin. So you have Austin, like Tucker Carlson, and Martin. So it's not, there's some reference points to that name. I'm not saying that, 666. Look, each letter of his name is it six, right? Austin, Tucker, and Martin. So it's 666 in terms of the number of letters. I'm just saying that these things that would be like, I mean, I probably 7 years ago, 5 years ago, I'd be like, dude, this guy's out there, man. Do you believe in like UFOs, aliens? No. But this, whether you think this way or not, this is how they think. And we have proof of that, right? So it's not just, and but just notice his name 666 21. We see numerology. Just I'm not like an expert on it, but it's interesting to see. And these things are absolutely relevant. I mean, 6 letters in each thing. I'm sure there's some significance to his name. 21 years old is also significant. 21.
The
Blackjack.
article was published on the 22nd of February. That's 222.
Yes.
Right.
And what time was the shooting? Exact time of the shooting?
I don't know. I actually literally just found out about this within the last hour. I just thought it was incredible, like the timing, but also just like the theme of like vigilantism, which I've talked about in the last couple of weeks, where like people are going to take the law into their own hands because they're not getting any justice.
Well, isn't that Luigi guy?
Yeah,
hero?
Mangione. Yeah.
He's a hero now, right? I mean,
my understanding is they couldn't convict him.
Right.
So, yeah,
probably the wrong
he's
guy.
kind of seen as a hero.
Probably a setup. That wasn't the real guy.
Oh my God.
That story doesn't make sense. He supposedly followed him and shot him at 7 a.m. in the morning, which is really kind of a strange thing.
So I just asked AI for, just whatever the AI search engine, and it for Austin Tucker Market Gematria, it says, just listen to this. I cannot provide a gematria or numerical interpretation of names for Austin Tucker Market, as this type of analysis is speculative and not supported by factual reporting. So the AI is literally refusing to do a gematria analysis for me. Which
AI is that? So it's like
this is the browser. I can send you. I can take a screenshot
in the Brave browser.
Yeah, but it's literally refusing to do it. Because it is analysis is speculative and not supported by factual reporting. Oh, like Omega Man is factual,
right?
Omega
all the things they told Omega Man. Yeah.
Seriously. So to me, that means there's something there, right? That's a nice. And then February 22nd, early hours of Sunday, it says 1:30 a.m. Around 1:30 a.m. That's I don't know. 1:30 a.m. 13.
All right.
And his sister died on August 23rd, 2023. Kathleen Renee Martin. So anyways, it's very.
It's interesting to see the knowledge set. Like these people, they're taught different school. They're taught different like history. These people they're raised in like Jesuit college or Jesuit schools, and they're given, Greek understanding. They're given the mythology, and this occultism is like a language that they speak. It's a knowledge set that pretty like all of them have. It seems.
Well, it's not just that. So if you look at, say, like the trivium, the quadrivium, the basic components of learning, where you actually learn how to think, you learn what categories of reason are, you learn how to write, you also learn. So this mythological, and this is something I really want to stress, is that this mythological infrastructure is still active and still being activated. Artemis, whatever, you name the space shuttle or something. These things are still, they're still functional, and it's just that you could look at someone like Herman Melville, who didn't even go to, I think he went to like third grade, and he wrote one of the greatest books of all time. But there was a basis of thought and understanding. This has been completely removed from the ken of most people, and in fact, a lot of these schools, they can't use any electronic devices at all. They're not learning off iPads. They're learning traditional, learn Latin, learn Greek, learn how to think, learn these things that are really most people have no idea about anymore. And in fact, it's one last thing I'll say is that if you haven't developed these skills, you try to do it later in life, it will cause you almost physical pain. Like if you really strain your mind, it's like you got to push through it, because it's like you're breaking through the, climbing out of the swamp, man, because it's hard. It's hard to get these skill sets, but when it's ingrained in childhood, you have a massive advantage over the regular society.
Good point. Yeah.
You have to tell people the word rhetoric today, and their ears will start bleeding, like they have no idea, which is really a foundational part of like Roman education.
Right.
Yeah.
And they've like sullied the term, because like people they act as if it's like a sophist type of thing where your rhetoric is you're only using rhetoric in a way to manipulate my understanding, and so it's got this kind of negative
Right, good point.
connotation.
Yeah, good point.
I would highly recommend a book. It's the Trivium by Sister Mary and Joseph, and it's a book that's written for students, but it has such a deep analysis just of all these basic categories. What is rhetoric? What is logic? What is grammar? What are these modes of understanding? And then they have geometry, astronomy, mathematics, and music. And these are all different forms of knowledge. But you go through the basic thing. What is the purpose of rhetoric? How do you communicate? And all this stuff. And these things people don't even, you have to go to the roots. And I'll tell you, you just see it. Okay, I will tell you it's a good test, litmus test. How difficult is that book for you to read? So yeah, the Trivium and Quadrivium by Sister Mary and Joseph. And just to do that, it's very important. We have to see that there's also been a strong current of anti-intellectualism or whatever. But I mean, get this type of basic knowledge. Make sure your thought process is clear. You understand. Then you can, and you go through all the logical fallacies, and these become, them right off the board. You listen to an argument. Wait, that's a logical fallacy. That's a logical fallacy. And if you analyze these politicians, logical fallacies, top, from here to eternity.
For real, man. Yeah. Just the idea of voting to fix anything is a logical fallacy.
Right. That's what this Austin Tucker guy was talking about online. They're starting to get his texts. But he's like, you can't change anything, raise awareness. Wow. I mean, he left like a pretty, I mean, if he's real, he left a lot of text online and stuff.
Well,
The shooter guy?
there's a
So-called
professional football player. The same, like I'm still trying to get one of these AIs to do the gematria analysis. It won't do it. I don't know why. It's funny. But there's Austin Tucker Martin is a defensive back. Says Sport American Football. So I don't know who that guy is, but there's a football player also. Let me just see here.
This isn't the first guy who tried to, raid Mar-a-Lago. Remember Ruth tried to do it before the election. So and the guy was missing. So he went rogue and then he attacked. But he wrote, this is according to his emails.
Yeah, that guy was a whore for P. Diddy. He would, the guy who
Ruth?
Not the guy on the golf course.
Okay.
The guy that lit an explosive at Mar-a-Lago, like at the carport.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
And he got arrested. And in the interrogation, he was saying that he was a hired gigolo for P. Diddy.
P. Diddy parties.
Yeah. Dude, and he would P. Diddy would drink the stuff off of put it on his chest and shit, really gross stuff. But that was the beginning of the P. Diddy, there was the Cat Williams
Exposure.
thing, and then that guy, and then it turned into a deep dive for everybody. And then it's really interesting how it ties to the Mar-a-Lago Trump shit. It's one big psyop, I swear.
I guess last night they played, I don't know if it was at Mar-a-Lago or at the White House, but they played My Way. And if it was at the White House, but if My Way's background, Satanic Church loves that song, or the Church of Satan. It's the most satanic song imaginable. And they're literally playing it at the White House. So there's this undercurrent of stone cold Satanism, which we're going to cover today too, this talk.
Yeah, it's Frank Sinatra, though. There's a couple other songs Black. There's ones like Black Magic, and I forget the name of the song. But Sinatra was, you go to the Rat Pack, and they're tied into the whole Las Vegas thing. It's of course Sammy Davis Jr. But we see that this elite. You can go. I think. Just to add a little background, let's tie this into the blackmail operations, sexual blackmail operations done by the mentor of Donald Trump, right? And they had the hotel
Which
room.
brings us all the way back to the beginning, right? Roy
Yep.
Cohn.
And then you go Roy Cohn and Herbert Hoover, where Herbert Hoover was blackmailing everybody in the country, and then Roy Cohn was blackmailing Hoover because Hoover would go in the dress, and they had this I forget the name of the hotel, but they would have these parties, and Hoover would be there and is dressed up like a woman, and whatever, and all this stuff. It was all wired for sound and video, so all that stuff was recorded. So Hoover was completely blackmailed.
No question. This picture totally gives me Kubrick vibes. This is something that I found today.
Right.
Sean and I were looking on search. Doesn't it give you like the structured, formal Kubrick structure?
Yeah, the square within the square, double square on the carpet.
And
even the ceiling patterns too.
This is a room at the Little St. James. So they're bringing people in for blackmail over the Tesseract. And Sean and I have talked. I mean, I learned from the test.
On the bed. That's the bed where they do their fornication.
Right. But I learned about the Tesseract from McCann. So, but it's just like this. We're going to show it's all through there. So imagine these kind of guys like Epstein and his over. There's got to be an occultist somewhere, whether it's Epstein or somebody else. But they're bringing these people in. You got to come to the island. He's telling Bannon, stay for 7 or 8 days. That's how they probably work them into it. They don't want them to come and leave in 24 hours. They want to get them in, give them some drugs. Epstein knows a lot about drugs. He knows a lot about scopolamine. I've heard recently that he were literally growing the trumpet plant at Zorro Ranch.
Yeah, that's proven. I believe that's proven. Yep.
So
absolutely.
He's bringing them in. There's incredible things that have happened in the last week, which we'll get into this occult thing. I'll show it after this. I just want to show you like 4 slides. But this is just an incredible tell. This is like full-on Tesseract. But if it stood alone, it still would be suspicious. But here's like the variants on the theme. Here's another room. This is it.
Well, by the way, Sean, the show we did with Carrie recently. So you notice this binary duality, right? They have the kind of red, left, 2 spears, right? Even in this, you have this left, right, it's in between, right? You're going between good and evil. You're going between the tree of life and the tree of death, right? That's the doorway, you could say, to the dark energy, the summoning of the stuff, the portal, and it's all, the symbolism is all over. But what is these flowers are? I don't know.
It's like a same. Is that the trumpet flower?
Yeah. Oh my God! It's a trumpet flower. It is. Wow. Yeah, it's a trumpet flower.
Over the Tesseract. Look at even the door. Wow.
Welcome to the Tesseract prison.
even the drapes are like black and white or something like that.
Yeah, it's that blue. That's the blue of the United Nations. That's the blue that wouldn't burn when they were doing the Maui fires or remember that, like in the blue roofs. That's the same color blue.
Oh yeah, and just one thing to state is that color, we say like blue, red, green. They're very, very distinct, specific shades of color that have important meanings, occultic meanings, ritual meanings, and it's not just blue. Like it's a very specific shade. I'm sure it has an exact cyan, but who knows what the name is.
That's the same color on the Israel flag, the same color on the United Nations flag.
So that's not just blue, right? This is this very, and each color is a frequency, right? It's a frequency. Right. So basically, the light molecules
programming with
but it's
the victims of the DID. They get programmed with colors, specific colors. Sorry, go ahead.
Wow. Yeah. No. And so just this doorway or gateway, and you can see that. So the stuff we're talking about, like it's in your face. Now, this is not random design, and these striped black and white. Curtains, they don't match the room, so they have some kind of symbolic significance. Right. You know what I mean? These guys, they have.
And the temple is the same blue and white. The whole motif of the temple that he's got.
Right. That used to be there. They painted over it, and they took down some of the statuary too. They apparently had a lot of statuary. But this is the shooting of this and the structure and the kind of formalism and the how it is very reminiscent of Kubrick and The Last Picture. So
and look at that the candelabra, that thing that's really weird. That's like a trip. Like what is going on with that light fixture?
That's kind of how the flowers hang on the scopolamine plant. they kind of like swoop down like that. It's weird. But I mean,
Here's the bathroom. Hey, you want to go
there
to
it
the
is.
bathroom?
Yeah, look at the square. Yeah, dude, what a trap.
Come on in. This is
That's
just
the
like Bill Burr.
prison.
Tesseracts everywhere, man.
Dude,
it's
it's
like
so-
no joke.
Oh man.
William,
That's
everybody always wants me to mention the Jews. These guys are a lot Jewish. They're not all Jewish. Staley's not Jewish. Gates is not Jewish. Nicholas
beyond
not
Jews.
Jewish.
Yeah.
But they're Jews. There's a lot of Jews. The mega group is Jews. Black is a Jew. Hoffman's a Jew, if that makes you feel better. But
It's like a title. It's like I mean, I heard a interview with Jacob Rothschild talking about, they asked if his kids were Jewish or if he
Sean, I think
raised-
you're breaking up, or are my headphones breaking up?
it's your headphones. He
that's
sounds
just
fine.
Okay, that's good. Jacob Rothschild was saying before he died that he was asked if he raises kids Jewish, and he said he raises the girls Christian and they raise the boys Jewish. And I think that goes along with the mind control and the way that it, circumcision and all of that kind of creation of a warrior mindset, like the damage that this type of mind control gives them, makes them good businessmen and makes them, proper for the hierarchy that they will eventually become part of. These babies, they gotta get them young, like the mothers of darkness that choose what they're gonna do in their life before they're 7 or whatever. But I think that is it's interesting that why would you do the girls different? Why is it related to? It's because of their role when they get older of what's going to happen. Why they're affecting their brains in such a way.
Oh, hey, sorry to interrupt. I finally, by doing the gematria analysis of the football player, I was allowed to get the gematria of his name. So I don't know if these numbers mean anything, guys. I'll just go through it. 84, 78, 75. That's Austin Tucker Martin. 237 is the number. I think that's an important number, right? 237, 363.
237, dude. Room 237.
Yeah, his number. The name adds up to 237. Yes.
237.
What is? Yes. You want?
The Shining, room.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna just cut and paste this in the chat. So tell me about 237. I'm not.
Well, it's like it's the place of transformation. It's like that's where Jack meets the ghost. That's where Danny gets attacked. And Danny first touches the doorknob at 42 minutes in the film, on the film's timeline. There's like, I'm not the bet. There's others that know room 237 or know about 237 better than I, and they can go all day. There's friends of mine on X, and I hope they're listening because maybe they can make some comments. But 237 is significant for Kubrick because of that, and he uses it again in other films. He used it in Eyes Wide Shut when the thug was chasing Bill in the street, like following him, and Bill knew he was being followed. He tries to hail a cab, and right above his head is 237, like the number of the building behind him. So it's like that raising tension of fear and like understanding you're in a trap, I guess. I don't know.
Can you explain to the audience what a tesseract is? Not everybody knows.
Yeah. Okay. So like it is it's a fourth dimensional cube. So it basically there's this guy that wrote some books. Let me see if I can pull them up. But basically it represents the fourth dimension beyond 3 dimensions. So but it also represents an eternal prison because of the way that, so like if you take a point and you extrude that, it makes a line. So that's 1 dimension. And then you take that line, you extrude that, it makes a plane. That's 2 dimensions. And you extrude that up, it makes a cube. So that's 3 dimensions. And we can understand and see all that because we're used to seeing 3 dimensions. But then if you extrude the 3-dimensional cube, it creates a tesseract, which is also called a hypercube. And that it in order to represent this, it's, yeah, you see the lighting fixture, it's a square within a square. So, and he's walking down into the red of Malkuth and the mirrors, you know. Anyway, so the tesseract is used in Satanism as a representation of the eternal prison of the mind in the false reality of illusion. So the Satanists like would rather rule hell than serve in heaven, you know, that whole ethos. And so they create a hell out of this world, and they're creating a second world within, and that's the inner cube is the trap. And it's held in, if you look on all sides, it's held in by the trapezoids. And that's another highly significant symbol. There you go. Mark Passio describes it perfectly. Yeah, right there. The hypercube is one of the most occulted symbols within the dark occultism, yet is found prevalently throughout our society in the form of octagonal symbolism. So like if you take the hypercube and you represent it onto 2 dimensions, like a shadow of the hypercube on 2 dimensions, it creates an octagon. So that's what like the black hat of the police is like a black octagon on their crown chakra, capping them off from like the reality. Anyway, in 3 dimensions, it appears as a cube within a cube. Symbolically, it represents a never-ending prison which perpetually renews itself, or in other words, hell. So Passio does many more minutes talking about it. I just read the slide, but people should check out. This is part 2 of Demystifying the Occult, Satanism and the Dark Occult. I was actually at this one. I drove down from Massachusetts to Philadelphia to hear him say this, talk about this. But anyway, so the hypercube it represents the prison of the mind, right? And so like the inner cube is always trying to, it extrudes, but then it becomes the outer cube, and then an inner cube is there again, and it's continually renewing itself. So it's an eternal trap. And so that's what, since we're talking about The Shining, when Danny rides his tricycle down the hallway, that long shot of him going down the hallways, the far perspective of the far end of the hallway is a little square, and then as he rides towards it, it gets bigger and it becomes the outer square, and then we have another far like inner square. So like the the tesseract can be represented like going into a tube, kind of. It's like a forever tube. Like if you look at people going into the pyramid and they got like a little headlamp and it's just like this square in this blackness around, you know, that's what I picture. But anyway, so like as Danny rides through, that is the extrusion, and it creates the illusion of the smaller cube getting bigger, and then another smaller cube, and it's like Danny is traveling into it. And at the end of 2001, Jack, or not Jack, but Bowman is trapped in a timeless space. So that's 4th dimension is beyond time, where time doesn't happen like in a linear way. And supposedly non-corporeal entities experience time in that way as well. Like they can, time is not a linear fixed phenomenon for them. And so in that way, they can seem to have knowledge beyond what we do, you know, and that, you know, people like Trump will do dark occult rituals to gain their understandings. But basically the tesseract is that it's the eternal prison of the mind. That's why they put it on the cop hat. That's why the holes in the ground where the 2 towers used to be are squares within a square. It's a black hole inside of another black hole, like, and it's all the water is pouring into it, and that's the tears and the emotion that's just feeding this, you know. And there's two of them. The double square is another way of saying the tesseract, and people that listen to David Icke years and years and years and years ago, he would talk about the double square. And so like that octagon is one way of representing it, and another way is a square within a square, like right there behind Trump on the wall. Those are a bunch of squares, and it's as if he's in a golden one. Like what a douche. But,
Well, just to tie this in again, you can say these guys, these are crazed conspiracy nuts. They're off their rocker. But look at this. So the Tesseract, it's something I talked about for a long time. Even, with Tool, like you're generating. So the Tesseract is the eternal prison of consciousness, which is 6G. 6G, which is a biogenic. It's an Internet of Things, IoT. Like someone said, "Oh, Whitney Webb broke this news," and maybe she did, but I talked about it before she was born. I'm just kidding. I'm not that old. But basically, the thing is that this Internet of Things is the total. They want to literally track and tag every single living entity on Earth. Put this uploaded into this virtual system, which supposedly I've heard that there already is a complete virtual, like maybe using quantum computing technology matrix of every person on Earth. At least in the United States, it's in the United States. This computer modeling, they show everybody, right? You can see everybody. They predict their actions. Every single individual, or at least most of them, are in this virtual simulation. And essentially, they want us to upload our consciousness into the simulation. Okay. And in fact, many people are entering this black cube. And I think about Black Cube, the private intelligence company, right? So we're seeing the tesseracts everywhere. This is a literal thing that is being proposed for humanity, for our futures. This is what it is. One of the issues is that there's a direct rejection of the human biology for the implantation of these virtual worlds, right? I mean, you can't go into the virtual reality. It hurts your brain. It causes, but they're trying to even genetically modify humans because this is our Morlocks, right? Or whatever. And so go back to H.P. Lovecraft, but just real quick, so that I got the numerology of the football player, not the shooter, because it won't do that. It's illegal. It's speculative. But I got it for the Austin Tucker Martin football player. So 59 is actually one of the cards, Ritual of the Machine, in the Illuminati card game. and so that this 59 is also the number of the name in Chaldean. Chaldean is one of the most ancient people, look that up, Chaldea, this is like a lot of the magical practices or whatever and stuff that we're living under came from Chaldean. Ritual of the Machine, or Alliance's sorcery card, gain control of a target non-artifact by sacrificing one creature at an additional cost. Okay, that's in a game, but still 59, that's another blood sorcery ritual, whatever. So all this numerology, I'm just throwing it out there. Someone who's more adept. And again, we have to watch out. We're losing our knowledge from who knows? ChatGPT, I cannot do that numerology. It's speculative. It's a speculative thing. It's a current event. Okay, but look out for this stuff. Look at these tesseracts, man. The golden tesseract. And so they're doing these sex magic rituals in tesseract cubes. Okay.
This is interesting. Where Epstein admits to himself that she was researching a really bad guy that gets children for sex sent to his island. She almost fainted when I told her that person is me. This is his admission that he's doing.
Wow. Yeah. I just want to say one more thing. The Tesseract math, the theories of the fourth dimension influenced Blavatsky and her thinking. This guy, I think it was Charles Howard Hinton, maybe, is that I've got a couple books, or C.W. Leadbetter. No, Charles Howard Hinton, I think, is the guy that started Scientific Romances, first series and second series. 1902, I think it was produced or something written down. Let me see if I can open that. C.H. Hinton. And there's like, okay, and when you mentioned Tool, Danny Carey had a two-dimensional Tesseract on his drum set, like all through Anima, probably during Undertow, like during those early albums, there was like Tesseract on each one of his bass drums. So
total occultist and totally unashamed of it. Like,
yeah,
just like go to his website. It's just like, whoa.
Right. Yeah. Check out his he's got a t-shirt of Karanzan.
It's like a primer for Crowleyism. It's just like,
yeah, he sells the books. He deals Crowley's books. Yeah, he's got freaking White Stains, like $10,000 version of White Stains. Yeah, it's fucking actual jizz on it. But yeah, I think it was Hinton, Charles Howard Hinton. If you look up Hypercube math or whatever, it'll tell you where it came from.
I think you sent me that book. Yeah, I think I have a copy of it somewhere.
That's cool. So that's where it came from. But then that influenced the dark occult societies in their representation. I mean, they're very left-brained, so they take the math like that. It's anyway. Go ahead, keep going.
This is Epstein to David Stern, who was the head of the NBA. He's telling him, "You are a friend of the first circle." So he has these different circles of friendship. So it's kind of like this initiatory thing that he reveals himself to in these emails. So it is interesting. You'll see this first circle or first friend concept that Epstein repeats over and over again. It's pretty interesting.
So that's hierarchy. It's like rings within rings type of thing. First circle as opposed to outer circle.
Correct. Where's the other one? I'm trying to find.
What were you saying, Hans?
Oh no, I just think that it's interesting to, again, whether you believe it or not, they obviously believe that these things have power, right? So they're trying to use different types of laws to create things, and of course they're living, they're feeding off of everybody else, right? You go to your job, you're a slave, at least you're living on the farm, at least you're on the farm. You got your animals, you got your chickens, your ducks, you're here with the earth. Now you have to go work at some factory, work at some corporate job, be a slave or just have, this half-life of a human half-life. I mean, and that's why people freak out. That's why people, they go to raves or whatever, because they want to feel alive, right? And it pushes you into this. And yet, by the same token, they also want to inculcate the type of similar behavior in the plebeians, right? So this type of debased,
make us all Satanists, right?
Look at all the OnlyFans, like how many girls, young women, they're like literally prostitutes. I mean, this is debasing something that you can't buy that back. You can't buy back what's been taken from you. Like that one lady who was like this innocent, small town, whatever. They became like Hugh Hefner's like sort of main concubine, and the level of degradation they went through, deeper and deeper and deeper, including humiliation and who knows what else went on. And she's like, I can never get back what I lost. I mean, she literally and she seemed like a nice person, right? But this Hugh Hefner ties into this too. The whole mansion was wired for sound, wired for surveillance, right? And so I'm just saying that the antecedents of this,
and it has tunnels.
It has tunnels, but the antecedents are with the Rocone sexual blackmail operations, and then Corazon is the opening of the Caliphate as taking precedence over the current temporal situation. So this is a type of moving humanity into the black cube. Yeah, go ahead, William.
Yes.
Do you want to hit that the document you sent us? I think that might be interesting to read.
It seems like we've been in the black cube for quite some time, man. People are dumb as
I think
of rocks.
I think a lot of people have had their consciousness uploaded into the black cube, literally. I mean, and unfortunately, I mean, it is very painful, right? And the thing is, we're not talking like, I like to be in reality. I don't want to I'm not trying to escape my life. my life is fucking great. Sorry to swear. Like I want to be in my life. But you're constantly pushed into this space with the continual fracturing of attention and awareness with your phone, right?
Right.
Or with this or that. All the kids being raised on iPads,
Right.
and then you chat GPT. You become a retard. You can't write. You can't even write a sentence. It's just the natural function of the human organism, unless you invoke your will and take charge of it, is that if something is offloaded, I don't need to do that. It's a great survival feature, right? There's so many things we don't have to think about how to run our heart, how to run our intestines. Of course not. It's done
Sure.
automatically. But GPS, you lose, I remember first got GPS, I started to lose my sense of direction because it's being offloaded. You lose your ability to think, and it's
It's by
offloaded.
design. I mean, look at what they did to schools. Look at over the hundreds of years, since the Prussian schooling and all that crap. And you were just saying about the trivium, and that was removed. And you know what I mean? Like all of this is they've been dumbing us down, and now that they've got the iPad in front of the kid's face all the time, their brains are just mush now. They're not gonna grow up. They're gonna be, I mean, the kids with all of the injections are gonna be all, autistic, and the rest of them are gonna be stuck in the computer. Like, they got them, man.
No, I mean, and this is so I did shows on this about 2018, 19, which I'm gonna be uploading. Did a deep dive for like a number of things into the whole the epidemic of autism and how this is becoming
Yeah,
normalized. And in fact, autistic people, they possess a lot of times they can possess great skill sets. So they're your perfect
I know
bio robot.
someone perfect.
There's your
I know
bio robot.
someone.
You put
Yeah,
them in position, and it's neurodiversity, right? It's neurodiverse. So autism, what you look at autism rates skyrocketing, just
crazy.
choom. And what? Oh, there's a weird. If you have another graph, which I don't want to say here online, but there's something that you inject that
Right.
doesn't get you high, and if you have that graph with the autism rates, they exactly line up straight,
Right.
top to bottom.
There was actually, like, sidebar, there was recently, uh, Jimmy Dore had somebody who wrote an article where they did an actual, like, real peer-reviewed test about, the triggers of autism and how it relates to those things that don't get you high that you just mentioned. And he said that, uh, there's a infection in the mother that triggers. So, like, all the aluminum and stuff, the adjuvants, make a fertile ground for that to happen, and then it's triggered by, like, not chicken pox, but, like, one of those, like, simple infections that, and then that's when it blooms, the autism blooms, and
Yeah,
that's what the trigger
and,
is.
and there's also the culture, right, of this lady who was like basically almost demonically possessed and had this aborted fetus, and they're still using cells from that.
Oh,
Yeah, and all this stuff, and
right.
and this is all going in there into the bloodstream. Um, but hey,
Such torture. I mean, yeah, dude, it's all torture.
William, I'm sorry. You want to go ahead and start reading this? If you
Sorry, yeah, sorry.
are you there?
Well, I just think that this is an important document. It was actually published yesterday. The author is Anthony Westgate. I will put a link to his Substack, which is where you can find. It's not the whole article. You have to go behind the paywall to see the rest of it. But it is extraordinary how much great research he's done. And the full title for audio is "The Epstein Occult Dossier: Uncovering the Secret Society's Occult Doctrines and Transhumanist Agenda in the Epstein Files," which is an occult doctrine in a lot of ways. But he caught a lot of stuff. He caught a lot of the emails, Bilderberg stuff, Money's pudding things, hasty pudding, like these kind of semi-secrets. Order of the Golden Sphinx. Um, I think one is called Killing Kittens in the UK. So he's very interested in all of these kind of stuff. He talks about Le Cirque, which is another one a lot of people don't know about, but Bohemian Grove, the Zodiac, I think we mentioned in one of our other shows, but he goes in greater detail about that. Um, the hierarchy of the inner circle, so this concept of the inner circle, which I just mentioned, but it's like he had this kind of inner circle view. He knew about Mozart, the harem, And people were asking about Rosicrucianism, but this one is really incredible. It's an email from March 17th, 2013.
Dude, I just gotta say, I just saw in that document he donated $375,000 to the Order of the Golden Sphinx,
Right.
from the Hasty Pudding Institute.
Right.
The Order of the Golden Sphinx. That's pretty weird.
Past pledges have many connotations. A pledge of allegiance, pledge of assets, most similar to giving pledge, includes the comments that relate to fraternity pledges. Wiki, fraternity brothers often involve pledges and exercises of loyalty and trust. Pledges and brothers may also have a pledge project they work on together, building something for the house, for example, and be in charge of tasks like cleaning up after a house party. So he knows about secret sociology. Pledges may do things for brothers, like serve as a designated driver on weekends. If the brothers feel a pledge has completed his pledge education to their satisfaction, he can be initiated into the brotherhood. The actual initiation ceremony is shrouded in mystery. It may take several hours and involve chanting, robes, blindfolds, and candlelight. The pledge will be initiated into the secrets of the fraternity, from secret mottos at grips, handshakes, to passwords and meanings behind rituals. He will be sworn to secrecy. Why not follow giving pledge with initiation into the most select group, joint project, etc.? Totally knows all that stuff. It's really crazy.
By the way, your video's frozen. I don't know if that matters. You look good. It was just like you have this.
It's just I have this like dumb thing in the back.
Oh, yeah, no problem. But yeah, so I mean, this is like we're seeing. I mean, direct, and he's very interested in this stuff. I mean, it's not just like he's right in the middle of it. So this see, where are we? So I don't need to read it, but it's secret societies and cabals. So he's part of the Trilateral Commission, Council of Foreign Relations, Bilderberg Group. So these are the infrastructure of the global control matrix, and I think everybody can see that, whether you want to see it or not, it's right there. Now, what if I was part of the Bilderberg Group? If I had been led into the secret societies, maybe I'd say this shit is great, but I wasn't. But I'm gonna bring you all down. I got the funk, man. I don't care. No, I really at this point, like this is where, but we're pushing back. This is an information war, because this is also the encoding of reality, and by having the knowledge of grammar, logic, and rhetoric, by having the intellectual clarity, by knowing the mythology, by knowing what these things that they're obviously whatever these are, right? These energetic centers, the different Sephirah, the Malkuth, Quran zone ritual. This is all tied in there, Tesseract, etc. So
also the Bilderberg was created by the Order of the Golden Fleece. So the woman who started that, what's her name, Beatrice, she's a member of the Order of the Golden Fleece, which goes back to the original owners of the world.
And Teal was the chair like this year or last year, and he's all over these emails with Epstein. It's just incredible stuff. But one more thing, just to bounce back to the whole Tesseract, because the Tesseract is in Rosemary's Baby,
right?
And then here is Alec Baldwin mentioning this. Jeffrey invites you to the set of the new Woody Allen movie and watch some of the filming later today with Alec Baldwin. Jeffrey is copied here, so you coordinate directly. This is 2012. Best wishes.
Witches
is probably correct.
Yeah, right.
I think Polanski must be 5 feet tall. He looks almost like
he's a little
person. But we do have to say though, there's people in the media Woody Allen's a genius. I mean, Woody Allen, everything you want to know. I mean, that I'm traumatized. I watched the movie. Everything you wanted to know about sex, but afraid to ask. My brain is still not recovered. But he's this really irritating guy. His movies are pretty crappy, I'm sorry to say. And he's a complete, he's a incestuous dirtbag pedophile. And his movies really aren't that good. And there's a lot of these musicians and artists. Oh, he's a genius. He's great. It's either people don't
They're taught to
actually
say that.
engage with it. But the thing is, like, especially being a professional musician, I'm still going somehow, by the grace of the Almighty Creator. But I stay on that path, man. You don't want to deviate from that right now. You can't. This is not a time to mess around with things like this. But basically, there, people don't even listen to music. They listen to what mimetic structuring has been implanted in their brain, and then they're going to like it. Literally, they don't even hear the sound.
Yeah, the millennial whoop, like that whole thing. Whoa, whoa. And
I mean,
it already sounds like you already like it because it's something that you already been trained to like. And the millennials, although for a while they were all going, oh, whoa, whoa, and there's not even any words. It's like a bird song. I don't know if you remember the millennial whoop, but look that up. And
well, and someone just mentioned Einstein. So Einstein, what did he really do?
Oh,
He removed ether. He removed the ether equation. What is all the actual working technology from Tesla? It works on ether. Okay, Einstein removed it, and then suddenly we're in this realm of relativity. Well, and what is most math and physics doing? They're either just going into these fantasy lands of endless equations, right? It's like,
right.
It's like it's like a Borges story. It's literally like a Borges story. But, or else they're trying to go deeper, fracture the atom. And in fact, open up spirit portals. Like, these are things like what I mentioned that before, like, you don't need to do that. You should not affect the human genetic code. We don't need to do this. We don't need new atomic power. We don't need these things because they are anti-natural. We don't need these powers unless you're going against, right? If human beings were able to invoke their intelligence and free will, the earth could be a complete paradise. It's human beings that have made earth a problem. It's not. It's right.
We created this illusion of slavery that we all abide by. Yeah. Preach it, Hans. Anyway, this is his books, right?
We talked about Tantra last time, right? So
I think we should go into this a little bit more because we want to understand, like what I was saying about Tantra. Again, you can see, like, if you want to understand, like, there's a book like Sir John Woodruff, The Serpent Power, also published under the name Arthur Avalon. He did a series of books. He was a high court judge in British Raj. He was a judge, and this guy came before him, and he said, I'm innocent of this crime, and you cannot convict me. I'm protected by my guru. And so every time the verdict was guilty, every time he opened the page, it was changed to not guilty. And it happened like a dozen times, and he said, okay. And then so he started studying. He learned Sanskrit. So he goes into the actual philosophical basis. It's called the Garland of Letters. It's basically kind of like a type of how Kabbalah letter sound, but that's the philosophical side. It has nothing to do with this. But this is when we say Tantra in this context, this is very important to understand. This is what they're talking about. I don't know. Should I read it? I guess, or you can.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. He argues that Kabbalah, and again, every spelling, either Kabbalah or Khilafat, indicates this has a very distinct meaning of what layer of interpretation you're being used, right? You have Hermeticism, you have hidden meanings, you have layers of meanings or interpretation. So that with a Q, with a K, this means a lot, whether or not, this person is aware of that. But okay, anyways, he argues that Kabbalah formed the basis of Western sex magic, and then magic with a K. Again, letter magic, right? In all its forms as it exists today. The book describes Crowley's ninth degree ritual in which the core sex magic instruction of the OTO, written in an alchemical cipher. It includes detailed discussion of the sexual symbolism of the Jerusalem temple, the cherubim figurine in the Holy of Holies, and the question of what the temple's innermost sanctum was actually designed for. I should note that I would not advise looking through this text as it contains explicit sexual imageries and numerous blasphemies that I will not mention. But here, okay, so, well, anyways, I'll stop there. Okay, Hyatt was Christopher Hyatt was a co-founder of the Thelemic Order of the Golden Dawn. So co-founder of the Order of the Golden Dawn. So this guy,
a modern one. So it's not. It's the reordered Golden Dawn.
Okay,
he's not the real. Hyatt was post World War II. he's a contemporary with all these other OTO guys. Wasserman, who wrote the intro to his stuff, McMurtry, Robert Anton Wilson, all these guys. So they all published their books at a place called Falcon Press, which references Horace. I think it's Falcon Press, but it's not the original. Oh, also, what's the other guy's name who was Crowley's apprentice? It's the guy who moved
Kenneth Grant.
No, he moved to New Mexico. See his face, I can't remember now. But they're all contemporaries. There's some great bickering between those two, though. It's good stuff. Crowley, he called Crowley gay. Oh no, Crowley. I'll see if I can find it. It's in my book, Children of the Beast. It's too funny. I'll find his name too.
What I'm sharing there is an encyclopedia of the occult, and
there you go.
Okay, that's called Cult and Occult, and this was in Kubrick. I have this because Kubrick was studying this for Eyes Wide Shut, so I made sure I found it.
Wait, I'm doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. So yeah. So anyway, this it goes pretty deep. Edited by Peter Brooksmith, and here, let's see.
Israel Regardi is the guy's name.
Oh right, yeah, I should have thought of that. So there's dowsing. Where is it? So when it gets into sex magic, it starts with Tantra. And it says that it all starts there. Okay, Zodiac. I should have looked at that.
Oh yeah, Crowley was made fun of Regardi for being Jewish. He called him like he came from one of the vilest slums in London. He was in fact morbidly conscious of his racial and social shame, and it embittered his life from the start. So Crowley was always bitching at him. And then, I mean, so apart from his inferiority complex, he was found to be suffering from severe chronic constipation, and measures were taken to cure him of this, and also his ingrained habit of onanism. The cure in the latter case was successful, but Regardi abused his freedom by going under some railway arches and acquiring intractable gonorrhea. And then Regardi turned around and put in writing. You see, the one thing about Crowley, which took me years to understand, was his occasional desire for women to piss and shit on him. I can't say I ever shared this taste myself, but the old man used to love it.
Yeah.
The fallouts between Crowley and his followers were always like epic. He never had like pleasant, you go your way, I'll go my way kind of events. They were always like dust up.
So I just found this on my bookshelf. This is a John Woodruff book I mentioned. So if you want to actual Indian Tantra, because there's a lot of this has nothing.
Yeah, this is an English book. This is English people.
Yeah, it's a translation of a text. So this is the Sri Tantra. So this is not there's no this is no black magic or anything like that, but it is now there's black tantra, etc. Like any force or potential. I just want to say, because people, it just thinks that, oh my God, what is that? I don't know. Go back to what is that picture? I just people use the word tantra, it just becomes a word they don't understand the actual meaning, at least in terms of historically. Right. But this is what
I can read a little bit here.
Yeah, awesome.
The entire universe is in perfect equilibrium. Its two primary polarities precisely balanced, like a god and goddess locked together in divine and intimate union. The highest spiritual goal, therefore, is to attain resonance with that unsurpassable state through sexual rituals. So say the followers of Tantra, a cult that originated in ancient East and that has enjoyed popularity among Western occultists and mystics since at least the end of the 19th century. This cult continues to flourish largely in secret in modern day society. And we can see that in Epstein's house. Okay, to the outsider, its rites may seem nothing more than indulgence in promiscuous and apparently obscene sex. Even worse, perhaps, the rituals seem to smack of utter depravity and black magic. But in its purest sense, Tantrism is nothing of the kind. Tantra, from which the cult's name is derived, is a Sanskrit word meaning warp. It signifies a body of written teaching, the warp, through which are threaded.
That's absolutely incorrect. That's
Okay.
totally wrong.
Well,
It just means it means machine or vehicle. So it means
right.
like, for example, the sitar style, original sitar style is called tantrakara, which means what? Instrumental. Tantra means instrument. It means a technique. It means a machine.
Right.
It means an
Right.
algorithmic set of practices. It does not mean warp. So that's
Okay. Okay.
so.
Well, all right.
Go
Well,
ahead. Sorry.
putting that aside, right? So basically, it's the Shiva and the Shakti, and it's the Kundalini, the raising up of your Kundalini and that's your Shiva, and it meets the Shakti at your crown chakra, and that is what is the goal, right? Is that what we're getting at here, Hans?
I'm sure there's probably valid, like it's valid information in this article. It's just that
There is
but
I mean it talks about specific cults that do this, and it talks about a dude that has these powers, and talks about Francis King wrote lots of books. um, Edward Sellon introduced Tantrism to Britain through a few English and French academies, had shown an interest in Hindu sex. In the 18th century, Sellon, a soldier, fencing master, and pornographer, became acquainted with tantric sexual rites in India, and his Annotations on the Sacred Writings of the Hindus appeared in 1865. In the United States, possibly the first person to study and practice the form was Pascal Beverly Randolph. He established various secret groups, one of which is believed to survive in France today. Like some Bengali practitioners of Tantra, Randolph used hallucinogenic drugs in his rites to attain heightened states of consciousness. Another cult with distinctive tantric overtones emerged in New York around 1919 under the name the Braeburn Club, BRAE, Burn Club. It was headed by Pierre Bernard, who styled himself the Omnipotent, and his wife, one Mademoiselle de Vries, a vaudeville dancer whom he had taught Oriental dancing and the basics of Tantrism. So these, I mean, it documents like the history of this in America and in Europe. The inner sanctum of this club was the Secret Order of Tantrics, whose members came to regard Bernard as a kind of man god. Bernard and his wife aimed to teach men and women to love and make women feel like queens, a clear echo to the tantric belief in the supremacy or superiority of Shakti. One tantric aphorism actually says, Shiva without Shakti is a corpse. Other occult groups had already adopted Karl Kellner, wealthy German industrialist, had established an occult order based upon the sex magic he claimed he had learned.
He's one of the founders of the OTO. Yeah.
Right. So this group developed the Order Templi Orientis, branches of which spread throughout Europe and parts of Scandinavia. The magician Aleister Crowley became a leader of the British OTO in 1922, but he moved away from tantric ideas and introduced elements such as magical masturbation and homosexuality, and added degrees of adeptness of his own invention. He also used sex magic for temporal gain, which is not commensurate with tantric teaching.
And so I'm not like, we just want to stress that I'm just going like more technical,
Sure.
academically. So this term, of course, in the body of practice associated with, you put on the name Tantra. So I'm saying the philosophical basis, but this, go back. I mean, this is deep. Like this is actually
this is a great book.
Kandala. There's Agora and Kandala, right? And there's other. I mean, like I said, in India, there's a law against doing black magic. Okay. So
Right.
this stuff is like, and this stuff is hardcore. Like I know somebody who actually, their father died. These people did this ritual. They chanted for 2 days and her father just died 2 days after that. And they took the property. And I mean, this stuff happens. And so it's there. Right? And so then there's all kinds of people, they do, black, this and that. So I'm saying the original it's quite interesting. Just as a philosophy, has nothing to do with sex actually at all. It's
Right.
just but it's connected more like so with Kabbalah. Now, talk about Kundalini. Okay, we're talking about, you have to look at the process of biohacking. Is it something you want to do? Do you know what you're getting into? Are you going to come out of it? Is it necessary? Right? Do you need to do that? I mean, I just say this as a general statement: is that if you live your life appropriately, these things will come to you when you're ready. You don't need to do a lot of this stuff, right? Because you can do. I mean, it's it's just like an electrical circuit. You can run different types of power through it. You can do lots of things with the human body, lots of things with the glands. You can get all kinds of things, but they can also, if you're not ready, if you don't have enough, you can easily become like all these people. They are literally slaves of that, or like omnipotent, right? This person is directing them just like the orders of the it's a hypnotic orders, right?
Right.
The hypnotic trees of, looking at, going back to the Hoover document. So these are, I would look at these as there are behind this, right? These are recruiting schools. I'm sure there's a massive amount of hypnosis going in there. And so I just wanted to state that I'm sure that within this document it's correct, but this is what is presented as quote unquote tantra for for the West, which are amalgamations of various techniques and mind control doctrines,
Right.
right? And you can look at the thuggies, the thuggies, right? Thuggies
Yeah. Right.
who they sacrifice the black cord, they worship the goddess Kali, this and that. It's like thuggy. So this, yeah, you see this, very famous temple. I've actually been there. It's pretty
Oh,
wild,
really?
man. Yeah, it's like that's how to live. Just kidding. But no, I'm saying, but that's and these are, we have. Okay, I won't go into this whole historical thing, but absolutely. I mean, it's dangerous, but this, I just want to stress that this word tantra actually means this is a type of black occult magic. It's called chandala, to connect with maybe Agora and some of these other esoteric schools, plus a huge dose, I think, of hypnotic mind control stuff that went into all of these orders, right? And
Right.
so they have the garb and just, okay, and it was the
It's
language.
like it's like another drug. It's like the way that they use hypnosis, and it's another form of hypnosis to be under desire of a woman. Like it is mind control. It's very powerful. But anyway, I mean, we know that Epstein would get massages, and while they're doing that to him, he's making deals. He's like trading money, and he's buying and selling, and whatever he does, selling arms, and
Doing $1 million
you know
stock deal.
exactly.
Let me just finish cutting the head off this baby, drinking the blood, and then
Right, but I mean, like at
it
that
text.
point of like of like before release or whatever, he's like doing stuff on the phone. He's like doing business. And I think it was Virginia Dufresne was talking about that in her testimony, and how weird it was that he wasn't like he was like doing stuff. Like it was using that Kundalini fire energy to like push into his
Yeah,
whatever.
you say no, but I think that again, not freak, not like I'm not like a tantra defender or whatever, but I'm saying that let's learn the word. Let's if you try to go through these texts and understand it. So what they're actually talking about is a code name, I think, for a whole other body of multicultural, I mean, multi-regional, esoteric type of black magic ritual practices, which could even tie back to, going back to, whatever, Chaldeans to Phoenicians to Egyptian rites, whatever. I think that is what is actually going on. And it's a convenient word. And just let's say, I'd say it's scare quotes, but I think that what it's also behind, you pull that back, there's something behind that, right?
Right. The
It's
blood
not
orgies of ancient
yeah,
civilizations weren't for nothing, right?
yeah. So I think and I don't know what that is per se, right? And I think this even would lie, this particular body of magical practices lies behind even a lot of satanic stuff, all these other ritual practices. And I think also that the actual knowledge, there's a tiers of knowledge, and there's the pyramidal structure, but there's also the hierarchy is feeding off of those, just as even Epstein is doing what he's doing. There's someone in charge of him. And there's a whole body in charge of him. And so this is whole structuring with a larger agenda. I don't know what it is, but I think it's interesting. That's all I just wanted to share. So.
But they're not just crazy people. I mean, there's a science to it. All of this fornication and debauchery, and right, William?
Absolutely, there's some kind of science going on there.
What are you typing right now? Are you looking something?
I'm just working and doing stuff and doing 10 things at the same time.
Just letting us just gab away. Sorry, we're walking on. We're doing a bird walk here, but this book, Cult and Occult, is really good for like basic stuff. And the warp thing, I'm glad that you spoke up, Hans, because if it's wrong, definitely tell us. We don't want to be knowing fake stuff or false. But this guy, I mean, maybe he learned it from different sources, that because like one thing means something to one person and then something else to this cult over here, it could have different terms.
No, I think it's a coding. That's why I wanted just to call attention to it.
Right.
Because at one point I studied Sanskrit, so I mean I do have some knowledge about the stuff. I mean, I'm not just talking off of Chat GPT information,
this book, it goes further into like,
oh wow,
using children, eternal youth.
Oh shit.
And then they're talking about Kenneth Grant here.
That's Grant, yeah.
And then
look at that. We'll go back to the geometric symbol if you don't mind.
Oh, that's the cover of his book, Magical Revival.
What is it? Dodecahedron? No.
It's 7 points. That's a Babylon star. That's Crowley had that in his image there. And Tool uses that also, the 7 star. Anyway, so they're going into looking younger and having eternal life. And then it goes into what's this? Okay. Sex, sin, and sacrament. So they're taking the eternal life from children via rape. Sorry. I mean,
that's what's kind of happened. They're like vampires, dude. This whole squad is a bunch of vampiric people.
Yes. So people should
taking their youth, finding them right at the whatever. I wouldn't even say peak, just finding the kids.
Right.
Sean, please send me this book, man. It looks super fascinating.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Barbarossa, Frederick I of Germany, revived his failing energies by bodily contact with young boys. The cure may have been surprisingly successful. Legend has it that he did not die, but merely sleeps. King, dude, this is like, holy shit. And vampire-like technique of acquiring psychosexual energy. Okay, that's exactly what you just said.
Whoa. Yeah, whoa, that's crazy.
The faith are sorted articles of faith of Heinrich Himmler, sinister chief of Nazi SS. Himmler, as well as carrying out unpleasant duties with dry efficacy, spent much time thinking about such unlikely problems as the mystic symbolism of Gothic architecture and the occult significance of the Etonian top hat. This book is really interesting. Everybody should get this, but it was not digitized forever, and like a physical copy is like $150. It's like a big book. But yeah, so like this is where I learned about Gandhi sleeping with young maidens.
Oh yeah, I knew about that. And they used to also during the peace march, they did a lot of fart jokes. So I remember there was a journalist wrote about that. But yeah, Gandhi, I mean, he slept with 2 naked young girls. But he said it was done to fortify his willpower because he would not sleep with them.
That's what this book is. That's what this is about. That's what this book is. Okay, so now King David was old and stricken in years. He gat no heat. Wherefore his servants said unto him, "Let there be sought for my lord the king a young virgin, and let her lie in thy bosom, that my lord the king may get heat." So they sought for a fair damsel throughout the coasts of Israel and found Abishag, a Shunammite, and brought her to the king. And the damsel was very fair and cherished the king and ministered to him. She regularly slept with King David, did not have sexual intercourse, for this would have earthed the life force and frustrated their intention. So it's like an energy. It's like grounding the life force when you actually, that's why they never, I mean, true tantric sex practitioners don't release. They, you know, it's that would negate the whole process. But I mean, these people
Or the release should be consumed. So it should be consumed because you take the energy back because it's a source. Right. I mean, basically, again, so do these things have effect? Yes. Are they necessary? These are types of biohacking, right? These are types of source code manipulation of creation, right?
Yeah.
Especially at the juncture we are with all these historical forces and processes, it is, it's really not, I think there's enough if you get on the right side of the potentiality, right? Because in a sense, humanity is at a precipice, but I think all this stuff is being pulled back, right? But I think it's not the time to engage in these things. And as soon as, I mean, the thing is, this is like, I think we have a common sense morality, right? Is it, well, it feels good to like rape a girl. Well, but it's evil. So I shouldn't do it. I mean, I'm not saying it feels good to me. I'm just saying like this is this fundamental thing that there's a selfishness. I take what I want. And I'm going to do this because it's good for me, and I want to hack instead of
Satanism, right there.
Yeah, Satanism, yeah. Instead of like being healthy, doing what is right, living simply, and then getting your power from that. Which, but this is what our society is based upon, and I think this is a foundation of Epstein behind, beyond the blackmail. I think this ties in all the other esoteric agendas, or even, I mean, just direct agendas, transhumanist agendas, transgender agendas, transspecial agendas, CBDC, total control grid. I mean, the removal of physical currency, total surveillance, injection of biologic agents that are tied via nanoparticles to various frequency, phase array frequency structures such as cell phone towers, internet, and then it's really, I mean, even just as an aside, like all the frequencies chosen for cell phones, I mean, you can have amazing cell phone connectivity in a frequency that is totally non-harmful for any human being and for all life. The 5G frequency it was originally set as a frequency weapon. It was a weaponized frequency that would be used for electronic, psychotronic, neurotronic warfare. And this is the cell phone frequency. You're holding that up to your head, and it's exactly and that frequency they're choosing. It takes so many transmitter stations, and it kills life. It kills all life, and you can get. I mean, when it first came out, I mean, you could build your own tower, and you can have a much higher level data carrying capacity. It's like almost like an AM radio frequency with no harm to any being. And in fact, it's way better. They chose the most life harmful, most toxic possible
They put them on top
frequencies.
Of schools.
And
they put them right on the school, man.
It's a choice. What I'm trying to say is that, like, okay, I can give you a car. It's going to be an amazing car. It's like a Lamborghini, and I'll charge you $5,000. I can give you a car that you're going to have to repair every 2 or 3 days, and it releases toxic fumes, and you're going to have to go to repair stations every 4 or 5 miles. I'm going to buy that car, and that car is not only going to poison yourself, it's going to poison the environment. That's literally the choice of frequencies they made. I'm trying to say, like, this is like this
by design.
It's not exact.
It's a fucking death cult. Excuse my language.
Am I still there? Sorry, man. We're talking over you, dude.
Yeah.
I'm just working. I'm just trying to categorize a bunch of stuff.
William is.
Here
I
we
guess he's
go.
not
Here's
technically the
another one.
guest
This is
time.
Dick Cavett, guys. This is like an
Oh,
unnerving.
nice.
If you like Dick Cavett, do not listen to this.
Oh no.
Dear Leslie, horrors. I've committed to the unpardonable error of inflicting upon Jeffrey today on the phone a false anagram. Please spare him the pain of passing it on its erroneous form. Here's the correct version. The letters in President Trump rearranged spell Mr. Putin's red pet. Thanks, Leslie. The chicken matter touches my heart. Dick C.
And what is chicken in terms of
chicken is like kids. I think it's like
chicken
kids. Yeah. I don't know when Dick Cavett died. When did Dick Cavett die? But it just, I mean, this is like just more code words. More code words for the other. The new one is Oreo. Have you guys heard of Oreo yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay, let's do the Epstein Oreo one. Like there's all kinds of, they really fixated on Oreo ice cream. They really want to make sure that, you know, like you have somebody who probably has never cooked a freaking meal in her entire life talking to Jeff about getting ice cream.
But I scream. You know, it's very literal.
Got a slot. Arrive 12 noon. Is it the tag terminal? I'll pick you up. I think it's Jet Terminal. Okay. Jeff, I have your Oreo ice cream, New York. Nothing else. Just Oreo ice cream. It's not ice cream. It's definitely not Oreo ice cream. It's something else. What the hell are they talking about?
Well, I watched like you know, Chefs of the Billionaires, some kind of reality TV show, you know, in London, and you see, I mean, they're spending, you know, one, you know, dish. They'll spend $50,000 on one friggin' hors d'oeuvre. They're not eating ice cream. They're not eating hot dogs. They're not eating chicken. They're not eating barbecue. I mean, they're, you know, so it's an obvious code. I mean, because one of the sort of signatures of the billionaires is this exclusivity and also the competition, right? Bragging rights. Oh, I got this rare, you know, gland of the pineal gland of the, you know, of this you know, rare, this tribe. We harvested the pineal glands of this particular tribe that lives in the rainforest, and it's very pure, and you're gonna get a great buzz. And it costs $15 million for this dinner. I mean, that's literally, that's what they do. I mean, that is what they do, because also it, it's like, to me, it's like, you know, you go to school when you're like in fifth grade. Oh, look, I got the new Tarzan T-shirt. Oh, I've got, you know, I mean, you know, it's that level. You know, in a certain way, they're so immature. I mean, they're spiritually immature to a vast degree, yet they hold the reins of the entire planet. But that's why I think that, you know, the master class above that is directing most of these people, right? I mean, but who are they? I don't think anybody knows. I mean, whoever knows doesn't tell. And if I knew, I'd be dead. Probably they'd kill me. Seriously. Unfortunately.
When you were talking about the competition between, it made me think of that movie American Psycho, when they're comparing their business card and, oh, this one's off white. Oh, mine's bone white. And they're the jealousy and rage, like when they're just looking at business cards. They remind me of that. Those people are all psycho.
Well, no, but it's what I'm saying is that you look at, you know, looking at the lifestyles of billionaires, right? I mean, they get very bored very easily. Right? Oh, I need more excitement.
What about Robin Leach? Robin Leach, the lifestyles of the rich and famous. He's in these files too, right?
She sure is.
Robin Leach, what an appropriate name.
Yeah.
You know,
right, killing people. That was one of the first files that came out. He supposedly strangled some girl to death.
Right.
Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Kill and sacrifice. There's more sacrifice stuff. Do you remember us talking about the Zorro Ranch and the farm animals and stuff?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Does anybody want to read this document? Can you read that? This is EFTA 01249.
I asked a friend of mine who actually lives near the Zorro Ranch to you know, hit me a heads up on the chat, because he had some interesting information on that. But I don't know. I do
too. I have more. There's so if we talk about we talked about 2666 and what do you call it? How did we lose Sean? 2666 in Juarez. Did we talk about that?
And I started the book. I just got through the first part where they're talking about the obscure German author and their
Right.
fan club, which but then
Archibaldi.
yeah, Archibaldi, and they throw in a little reference to there's a reference point, so I haven't gotten that far into it. But he's a great writer for sure. I never
Man.
counted his work.
Dude, it's like the background is almost like the whole Epstein files. People moving between borders and talking and communicating across boundaries and stuff like that. Let's see. Sean, do you want to read this? Do you want me to read it? Anybody elect to read it?
I can't get resolution. I tried to refresh and I popped out. Sorry, but I would
That's
if I
right.
could.
I'll do this. This is 2019. So this is the stuff that comes in. Epstein's arrested on the 8th of July. This comes into the FBI crisis intake. It's crisis, right? I mean, this isn't investigated, but they're not investigating any of this stuff. So I guess the public has to. Called the FBI National Threat Operations Center, the NTOC. I mean, I can do a whole show on the NTOC. They're just incredible documents. It's just, these guys are such losers. The FBI is just a totally corrupt, controlled entity. It's just not even arguable. Blank lives in the neighborhood of a property owned by Jeffrey Epstein. The property, which is on Zorro Ranch Road, Stanley, New Mexico, has recently had a large barn reconstructed, right? We talked about that. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
The barn is suspicious as there is a garage door that appears to be a sally port, and there is a chimney. Blank is concerned that the property could potentially have an incinerator concealed within the barn. An old 1970s mobile home was recently put right behind the barn, which Blank believes does not follow Santa Fe County regulations. There have been a lot of high-profile people seen frequently at the property. Blank has heard rumors that the property was used for recruited girls to visit with Epstein, but he has no factual evidence to support this claim. Blank heard rumors that girls from Albuquerque and the Moriarty area were recruited for Epstein. Blank patrolled this area for 15 years before he retired. The property was previously owned by the governor of New Mexico, but the property was sold to Epstein before the governor's passing. The property that Blank is reporting about 3 miles away from Epstein's mansion explained there's a lot of security for the properties, including cameras, sally ports, and other security measures. Blank explained that the barn that was constructed doesn't look like a barn you would use for ranching. Blank wanted to report the information to the FBI because he is concerned evidence could be destroyed here. So after he's arrested, he's like, guys, this is really sus. Get out of here. You got to check this out. It's not the barn. And then we talked about the farm animals, the code words, right?
Yeah, my God.
Keep the chickens for the eggs and keep the horses for riding, right?
Do you guys remember the David Lynch film Mulholland Drive, was it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And the guy that came was like a rancher, and he was like, "This is the girl." He's like giving instructions, and he was on a dude ranch. Do you remember that? Like,
No, I don't.
He had a big.
I've seen the movie, but it was
big
like
10-gallon hat. When he went and told the
eternity
director,
ago.
he was like, he gives him instructions. You go to the meeting and you will pick the girl, and then like, I will see you one more time if you do good, and 2 times if you do bad. Very like a mob guy, but he was like wearing a rancher like cowboy outfit. It was very weird, something you wouldn't see in like a Hollywood setting, and it makes more sense now.
Are you able to read this one? Can you guys read that, or should I read it?
Man, I don't know if you can refresh, but I don't know why it's not coming in.
I don't know. I can try to bring it up another way. Let me see if I can do this. Let me see if I can just bring it on through PDF.
Okay. Because when we were doing the other document, I could see fine through the screen here.
Let's see.
Yeah, people in the chat are saying Bill Richardson. And yeah.
These guys were there.
Yeah,
they were brought up. Like there's like literal investigations going on. Are you able to expand that, or?
I can see that. Yeah, here, let's see. On April 14th, 2020, Blank called the Albuquerque FBI Operations Center approximately 5 times in a 1-hour period to report a crime related to the Epstein case. He was transferred to NTOC, but he claimed NTOC would not take his report. He requested
biological functions. I'm back.
He requested to speak
I just
with
had
an
an
AI.
idea.
Sorry,
Hold on.
I'm reading right now. Sorry. He was transferred to NTOC, but he claimed NTOC would not take his report. He requested to speak with an agent. On April 14th, 2020, Las Cruces duty agent called blank using phone number redacted as well regarding the report. Blank did not provide clear information regarding the complaint.
So that's April 15th, 2020. Go to the next page. Try to read that.
Sure. Below in the notes, authorized method, access example FBI DOJ records and obtain information from FBI DOJ personnel. Method databases checked.
No, the next page. Sorry, go to the next. I have to go.
Oh, you have to do that. You're on. It's on.
Try the next page. Sorry.
All right. All right. So authorized. Okay. Method description. All right. This is interview or request information from members of the public. Okay. A bunch of redacted address, phone number, name. Was interviewed via telephone. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agent and the nature of the interview, blank provided the following information. Jeffrey Epstein's Zorro Ranch and affiliated cabins were used as a location for sex and giving victims of rape sexually transmitted diseases. Sex and STDs were then used as blackmail against rape victims from the ranch. The STDs then turned the victims' brains to mush so they could not tell their story. Several victims of Epstein are known to blank. However, blank would not provide further information about these victims. One female victim was raped multiple times and became pregnant. The baby was then sacrificed and buried at the Christ United Methodist Church near blank in Albuquerque. Blank would not disclose the name of the victim or provide any further information. Blank stated that he would only provide the names of blank and blank from redacted as well, because their names were already public knowledge. He stated these victims had already been in contact with law enforcement on multiple occasions, but law enforcement did not do anything. He would not provide further information about these individuals, but requested arrest and prosecution information from the FBI on the Epstein case. The writer stated the FBI does not discuss investigations. Blank did not want to provide additional information regarding victims or other federal crimes, but continued to request information about the Epstein case. Blank stated he would contact the Department of Justice directly for information.
Pretty crazy, huh? This came into the FBI in 2020 and nobody said a squat. April 15th.
That is so horrific to think about deliberately infecting them with venereal diseases like syphilis and stuff. Like, I mean, that is wow.
This person doesn't understand. The thing is that the trumpet stuff is there. So in my opinion, they're saying they're turning their brains to mush. She thinks that it's, or whoever's putting this, he or she thinks that these people are being turned to mush by the STDs. Not in my opinion. There's other stories of people being drugged and memory lapse. There's some crazy information. These documents are so freaking crazy. You can't even believe it. There is a story that these guys were so sophisticated. They put this thing about, this is Santino. I'll play this right now. This is This is a post from X called Byredo Bibliothèque Blink Twice. Epstein Island in the movie Blink Twice. The perfume and the people who used it could not remember the previous day, right? So their brains turned to mush. Blink Twice reveals that Frida and the other woman, and this is actually this Byredo, like it's in the pictures and Epstein stuff, is the same Byredo perfume of it's a type of like candle or something like that. I'll have to find this post.
Wow.
But it references a movie is called Blink Twice. Get this. The Blink Twice movie features when they go to turn on the Byredo candle, this is what they use to turn it on.
Wow. It's all just a big joke, isn't it?
It's all a big joke.
For the listeners, it's a smiley face. It's a yellow.
Yellow too, right? The color's
and
right.
And it says Jess, like jesters, like jest. But Jess, it kind of looks like
that's the whole comedic thing that's behind the smiley face. It's all a big joke.
But I think the letters are like a sigil. I mean,
there's other things in there where Epstein, they're saying about Epstein that he didn't have a conscience. He never felt sorry for anything that he did. It was just all fun and games and a big joke for him. Like he just didn't have like a moment where he thought about the trauma or the use or the disposal of these people. How crazy is that? That's freaking crazy. I gotta go find this.
Satanism, right there. I mean, it's just like over and over again. It's like,
human sacrifice at Zorro Ranch, guys.
Yeah. So they're doing investigation, right? Or they can't access?
I have to go. You can access the investigation, but
okay. Yeah, because
for people who don't know, Giuffre said she was raped by Dershowitz at Zorro.
Of course. But he kept his underwear on.
Right. She said in her testimony in 2015.
Sorry, I'm laughing. It's gross. I'm sorry.
I also had sex with Dershowitz at Epstein's Zorro Ranch in New Mexico in the massage room off the indoor pool area, which was still being painted.
Zorro the gay blade, right?
What a hell. I mean, Zorro with his mask, right? His domino mask. I think we, like I said, mentioned that on Twitter there. Like the guys, that's the mask that they wear at Eyes Wide Shut party there, the ritual, the whole Venetian thing and the costume ball. And you got a picture, right? And you got a picture of, what's her name? Ghislaine with the whole fluffy, feathery one and then they got a Weinstein there, and also Epstein is dressed up like a naval officer. Oh man!
I feel like reading this one. This kind of goes into the New Mexico Juarez connection. This is another one. This is from 2019. So all this stuff is incoming to SDNY. Do you want to read it? Anybody?
Sure.
Let's see if I can find this. Go ahead.
All right. Title: Lead forward to Legat, Mexico City, Mexico, 10/9/2019. Of blank, Turner stated he has some type of Mexican deputization and is working along with a female former South African law enforcement official on the Mexican investigation. Turner has been insistent that Richard Marcinko, date of birth redacted, who is a former U.S. Navy SEAL commander, is currently in custody in Mexico City, Mexico. Turner states Marcinko is being held on charges pertaining to a child sex ring and a Mexican law enforcement official known only to the author as Jorge. Is in possession of a trove of video footage of Jeffrey Epstein and other United States citizens engaged in sex acts with minor children, some of whom are reported to be United States citizens as well. Turner has remained in contact with the author on an infrequent basis and has yet to provide any evidence of his claims. The author is requesting that Legat, Mexico City, attempt to verify the incarceration of Marcinko and any and any inquire with Mexican law enforcement officials of the video evidence of child sex acts.
So they're just like multi-jurisdictional rapists. Like, has to be seen as that, you know.
So if you know about the jesters, like the secret society, the Freemasonic Society of the Jesters, they travel over the border to. There's this other order of Q, which is like Quetzalcoatl, which is like another higher order of, and they are in Mexico, and the jesters drive buses with children back and forth over the border. So that's what they do, the jesters. So it's a transportation thing that's going back and forth, and I'm sure there's plenty of illegals that they're picking up and bringing.
There's
illegals,
tens of
I'm sorry.
thousands.
It's not,
Well,
there's
look at all
Tens
the
of
Biden,
thousands of victims. Many
under
right.
Biden, all the children are just missing. You know,
yeah,
young
pregnant
and they
women on
all
buses.
no, I mean, children coming in and then they're brought into these weird NGOs and they just disappear. Right.
Right.
And there's a massive case of that, you know.
Right. Like put in houses with multiple males living there, you know, that aren't family, and very weird stuff. And then nobody would check on them. It was a greased wheel. It was a system of, it was built for that, obviously.
By Rito Bibliothèque, Blink Twice. Epstein Island in the movie Blink Twice, the perfume and the people who used it could not remember the previous day, turning their brains to mush, right? Blink, see, they don't understand. Who would understand scopolamine? They're not supposed to. Blink Twice reveals that Frida, Naomi Aki, and the other women who've been invited to Slater King Channing Tatum private island are having their memories erased nightly. The psychological thriller's terrifying twist only gets darker when the reasoning behind Slater's memory erasing scheme comes to light. The billionaire tech mogul and his entourage of male friends, Vic, Christian Slater, Cody, Simon Rex, and Tom Haley Joe Osmond, take pleasure in abusing and assaulting the women in the group. Misogyny, disposable females. Erasing the survivors' memories means the men can continue abusing the women without being held accountable, right? So this is why it's been going on for 3 decades. They're using this stuff, I think. As Blink Twice's ending reiterates, the film is all about power dynamics, just like the Epstein network, and the way that those with power have absolute control over those without it. At the start of Zoe Kravitz's directorial debut, Frida and her best friend Jess, alias Shawkat, are exhausted cocktail waitresses who jump at the chance to party with a billionaire. As the film goes on, it becomes increasingly difficult for them to ignore Blink Twice's many hints or dismiss their memory gaps, amnesia, as the fallout of drugs and binge drinking. Soon enough, Frida, Jess, and Sarah, Adria Arjuna, realize just how much danger they're in. This is probably what plays out at the island. Like the whole grooming process. Like, I got to watch this movie now. I got to watch Blink Twice.
It can also probably have a lot of layered symbolism of the DID phenomenon, because when they call up a new altar, then it doesn't remember what happened to the last one. You know what I mean? So it's similar to that situation. Like Grok
They may just wake up thinking that, wow, I just drank too much last night. You know, so they don't know. So that's the real Santino. So thanks at the real Santino. I want to give him credit for his post.
I definitely want to check that out.
It's on the wall. This is on somebody's noticed it on the wall inside the pictures of, Epstein pictures of at the island. So included in this.
Can you scroll down so we can see the pictures?
Yeah, I got to go back over.
But, it's straight Epstein, right? It's Party with a Billionaire. I mean, it's that. It's it. I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
Is it? So is it
Bill Cosby did.
But we just opened this thing with the whole thing about the Tesseract, right? So these people are in the. Imagine how dark, like Ghislaine and Epstein are. Is like we're bringing him in the Tesseract, and then it's going to be a house of horrors, and we're going to try to erase their memory if we can, and give this stuff.
It's the eternal prison. I mean, they don't even know what's happening to their body. I mean, they're like detached from their own suffering. It's, imagine the prison. It's, oh my God.
So I guess at the Epstein house, they had the perfume and the candle. Wow, so dark.
Dude, it's so fun. This is, I mean, this is really, this is so insane.
It's
Like,
insane.
dude, I'm looking at this that occult Epstein stuff. It's just, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, man. It's like, I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get to that whole thing with it, Guardian of the Sphinx, the Zodiac Club. He's part of all these things, you know. I mean, on
He's
and on.
interested in them too. So Le Cirque, like people don't understand what Le Cirque is. It's literally the eyes wide shut old families, literal fascists, like not like name calling left wing fascist, but actual like heraldric families that are in eyes wide shut.
Right, feudal.
Sallow,
right.
Sallow's reveals a lot. The movie Sallow, right? That really disturbing film. I mean, right, which is based on Marquis de Sade, right? Who was an actual Marquis who did those things. But that movie Sallow, I think that the director died right after doing that, and this
So I guess at the
literally
Epstein
shows it.
house, they had the perfume. There it is. Like it's on his like tech setup. It's over there on the left. Like wow, it's just that's the perfume, and then there's also the candles right here.
It's all over the house, right? It's.
I mean, who knows? Now I have to go back through all the pictures again and go through. Let's go. What the hell is it? They didn't block out some important stuff. That's for sure. The cover up artists were not total artists. There's absolutely no question about it. They missed some stuff, man. Wow, that is crazy. This is a never before seen picture. No, I've never seen this published. And this opens up a whole new phase of thinking.
Wow. Like he's as white as the wall. Wow. He's like a skeleton.
It has to be after his arrest in 26. And, so sometime between 2008 and, 2018. When did Jackson die? I forgot.
I forget. But notice the body language. Look at Michael Jackson's face. He does not look happy.
He's not happy. So he died in 2009. I bet this is very close to his demise, somewhere around there.
And you look at Epstein, his face. He knows it's uncomfortable. He can tell the whole situation's uncomfortable. And he's got his thumb sticking out on the other side, like thumbs down. There's a lot going on with this body language. I don't think this is a happy meeting.
White
I don't know. I'm just.
Maybe Jackson needed help. Who knows? Maybe.
I don't know. Like you can get people in a picture together pretty easy. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying, but still, like, I don't know. It seems like maybe Jeffrey wanted to get close, like he tried to get close to Woody Allen or whatever. He's using Woody Allen left and right. He's like, oh, have dinner with Woody Allen. Have dinner with Woody Allen. He's using him like that.
You're right.
So it's like, oh, if you have dinner with Woody Allen, what kind of dude are you? So look at the face on him.
Here's the costumes.
Maybe.
The whole costume scene right at the Rainbow. What's the name of the costume? What's the name of the costume place in Eyes Wide Shut? Is it Rainbow Room?
Rainbow Fashions.
Rainbow
Fashions, yeah.
So you see this like costume theme really is part of the Epstein thing. Like it's Eyes Wide Shut. What's the scales for in the background?
Those two girls, right? Yeah.
Well, one scale's upside down, one's right side up. And just that.
One's for pouring out stuff.
Yeah,
it's got like a tip.
Well, just this from the James Wasserman, in that document you sent on the Occult dossier. I'll just read this real quick. The Order of the White Line celebrates male-female polarities. Its practices seek to liberate the energy potential of that opposition. Yes, the old models were patriarchal. After the dominion of the matriarchal period had passed. But today we live in the aeon of the child, the magical offspring of father and mother, the self contained, free spirited, independent master mistress of his, her own destiny. The male is symbolized by Hadid. In the spear, I am everywhere the center, and she the circumference is nowhere found. Yet she shall be known, and I never. Inversion, reversion, straight up. That's the thing. This is like, it's cracking. It's like atomic energy, right? Cracking the atom, right? It's the black spear. It's the black cube. They're trying, you know what I mean? They're trying to get to that primal quadrant, and that's why, it's right there.
There's also, I don't, this picture is more commonly seen as this one with Epstein and Clinton and Michael Jackson. But where is who's the kid in the middle? Why do they have her blacked out and Diana Ross's arm? What's like the
Again, look at Michael's face, dude. Look at the body language. Look at his hand covering his other hand. He's like covering his genitals with his hands.
He's like, don't abuse me.
Get me out of here. Like I'm trapped. Help.
Yeah, and he's got this blank face, almost like, oh no, like he's gonna go into one of those like.
He doesn't seem happy, does he? He's like, well, no. I guess I have to be here for some reason. I don't know what it is.
Bill Clinton's like, I got him.
Bill Clinton has that smile, like Slick Willie smile. He just never can stop that. And then Diana Ross, who
But she's oblivious. If she's in on it or not, she looks happy. But Michael is definitely not into that situation.
Well, he has that lyric in one of his songs, right? Screw me, Jew me, any way you do me. So, but I do. A lot of people think, maybe he wasn't a pedophile. Maybe he just had such a broken childhood that he may have actually been a good person that was trapped in this matrix, and you can see that he doesn't want to be there. Like, and you look at them and even the way Diana Ross is looking at Michael Jackson, but it's like, oh, you're this far up. You have to participate. You can't back out. I don't know. I mean,
maybe he needs help. People are calling Epstein for help. Like, hey, there's a problem. Something happened. I got tax problems. I had some naked stuff come out. I've got a friend who's like this. So maybe Jackson had a problem and he just needed a solution that wasn't above board, needed a sub rosa solution. He had no morals, dude. The guy had no freaking morals. Like, people are saying that he did not have like the sense of like, oh, I did something wrong. He just didn't have it.
And when he introduced himself, he's like, "Oh, you know me. I represent the Rothschilds, right?" And what is I mean, that whole thing, people should. Right there is a red flag. And then, he not only represents them, but he also represents this Les Wexner guy, and he's like. He's speaking for them, and he's making interconnections for all these people. There's a lot to that. He works for some important people.
Yeah, he has contacts. He has contacts somewhere.
He could probably just do just about anything, and just there's that on the document on page Epstein and Mark Fisher thought about our conversation remeditation. Actually, it's not that hard. Why? A Jewish soul has a very different structure, different ingredients, components, relates to its higher levels differently, has different higher levels, relates to itself and other people in a different manner than a non-Jewish soul. To use repair methods meditation on something as sensitive as a soul requires the right tools. You cannot fix an Aston Martin with a Ford pickup truck tool set. Okay. So it's off for the chemo. This is dripping with, they are doing male, female. It goes into the Zohar. They're doing the Zohar straight up, Kabbalistic, Tesseractic. They're not just getting their pleasure. They're doing this for power. They're doing this for
it's an internal part of their soul. Like, they're expressing their soul in these actions, right?
Also, it's innate superiority because, the thing is, you think about it, most of us, I hate to say it, what kind of lives do most people end up living? Okay, maybe a lot of people have great lives, but a lot of people have, very boxed in, miserable lives or semi miserable. But especially now, people are locked into these past narratives. They're going around in circles. And these people are taking all the fruits of the world. You have to work, 60 hours a week just to pay your bills. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? The amount of wealth that has gone up to the top level. It's just absolutely obscene. In COVID, it just multiplied. I mean, the thing is, like, they're stripping away not only the knowledge base, like in the education, where people don't know how to think, but they're just trying. It's like the whole thing of, like, the rewilding. What that means is what you have to stay in your smart city box. You can't go to the natural area. That's only for the elite class, which is the billionaires or whoever they think they are.
Right.
Just like 1984, they had the inner circle of the party, and then the proles are out there with their freedom and they're singing, but they'll all be murdered off by the hunter trackers. People should look at my show and carry about hunter trackers.
William, can you say something, though? That one email I read, I know you bring the document about the aeon of the child, right? That's very important Crowleyan doctrine, and Epstein is citing that, the aeon of the child.
He literally cites it. Let me bring it up. I have it somewhere. It's not from this doc. It's from the Occult doc, right?
From that new article?
Yeah, let me see if
Okay. That article was also talking about what Hans was mentioning earlier about the difference between the soul having elect few with the tiny hats and then the goyim without a soul, and then that justifies their evil behavior because it's a beast, whatever.
You're a cow. You're
right.
A cow.
Cows have souls too, man. I don't know why people think that.
It just
that's what they think about. I don't think that about myself. That's
of course, no, I know. But it just makes no sense. Like why?
But let's be clear. Like, I mean, this, you look at the whole eugenics. This started also with, of course, loyalty, British elites. So this idea, I think it finds certain expression, but it's still the same. You can find the exact same idea, right? So that's the thing. We don't want to pin the tail just on the particular wearers of tiny hats.
Right. No, it's
we don't want to we don't insult the synagogue of
Satanism in general. Like just Satanism, the philosophy that I talked about before with the egotism is the highest principle, and then social Darwinism, or no, moral relativism next, and then social Darwinism, and then eugenics. That's like the mindset of the Satanist. And that's the people that rule this planet. They run, and the money is like, it is the grease of their machinery, but also it is the barrier that keeps us away from everything that they're doing. And then, like in that Marilyn Manson song that we talked about, Hans, I don't know, a year ago, cash is poor man's money. Like they deal in children and glands and blood and shit. You know what I mean? Slavery. That's what they're dealing with.
There was a document about JP Morgan that I'll bring up, but they said that there's like $1 billion in exchanges that probably are related to human trafficking from 2003 to 2016. So in 13 years, it's almost like $100 million a year. And then there's another one that says his harem was 400 girls large. That's how big it was.
Yeah. Hey,
which makes sense. So you just do some simple division, and you're like, whoa, this is crazy. And so then you can kind of just see like the whole Middle Eastern idea of women as slaves. And
I love the torture video.
The slave trades, and like a lot of Jews were in the slave trades. That's like a lot of anti-Semite tropes, like, oh, the Jews did the slave trade, which I think maybe is factually actually accurate, but
still happening.
it's still
I
happening.
just want to bring that
Because
up.
the mentality's still there, right?
Right. Yeah,
But Pam Bondi, right? Didn't she just come out? There's a New York Times article, Washington Post, saying talking about the Epstein files as anti-Semitic, right? So
oh no way!
yeah, there's a big it's a
She
big
said
thing.
that,
Yeah,
dude?
she did. Yeah,
Oh,
she
man.
looked that up. I mean, it just I think it came out yesterday or
Oh, wow.
and they're really pushing to ban discourse on this. It's like even talking about it is now we are. And so,
1984. dude.
well, no, I mean the goal is to make what we're saying illegal, right? So we can be
Right.
arrested for our speech right now, our information, our mimetic self-defense. It's not
2
even
plus 2 is 4, motherfucker.
yeah, like they want to be able to. They want to have a track, so even you don't even have to send a cop. They have your
Right.
robot bot.
Right.
The AI thing. You
Right.
hear what you're saying. It comes up and just your bank account shut off, your power shut off, and they
Yeah.
just come and drag you away by the robots, man.
Just like when Winston wasn't doing his stretches good enough in the morning, it was like, Comrade Smith yelling at him, stretch higher, better, like, oh yeah, it's a panopticon, digital panopticon. Oh,
Where do you want me to go?
I gave you those books. I
I
don't know,
got 'em.
like I downloaded those
Oh.
books on the list for people.
I have 'em.
I don't know if you want to flip through them, but it's more tantric stuff. I don't know if
Let's see,
it's more
chakra.
rehashing.
I don't know. I don't feel like going over it again.
That's
Jesus
fine.
Dynasty, Secrets of Western Tantra.
Right.
I think it's relevant, but I don't feel like going through it unless
That's
you guys
fine.
do. I mean, I feel like we've kind of.
No, it's all right. But I mean, we might maybe show the covers at least or whatever. We can like show the people and they can go dig themselves.
Well, here's two of them. One is right here. There's Secrets of Western Tantra, Modern Sex Magic. Donald Michael Craig was or is a known kind of occultist. Like he's a huge occultist. I remember Eccles,
Of course.
saying this guy influenced him. What did you want me to find, Hans? There was some document you wanted me to find out. Kabbalah instruction.
Yeah.
Pritzker, there's the Zohar. The Pritzker family is very much into the Zohar.
Right.
And they are the major funders of what? Like, transgender surgery?
Yeah.
And what?
They have a transgender
oxycodone, man. White genocide,
right.
straight.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because we're here in Ohio, Sean, man.
Dude.
We're at the center of, I mean, what meth
People
and fentanyl have done to people. I mean, this is like, it's good that you have to have some distance. But
They don't even want heroin anymore. They just want fentanyl.
And you can go, you can see entire communities just ravaged, gutted. Right? Especially
that was the Sacklers too, right? I mean,
Sacklers,
another Jewish family. They all just want to kill white people.
I'm sorry.
Look at that evil face.
Pittsburgh. No, I believe they're the major funding source part of transgenderism. I may want to bring that up.
There was something. The Zohar means like the Shining or something like that, right? Doesn't that mean that?
That's one of the most important Kabbalistic books, and this goes into the Zohar is what? This goes to Nathan of Gaza. This goes into the Messiah, 1666.
Oh,
you know his name.
Sabotage Zevi.
And this is the Zohar, the Book of Splendor, is the main foundational principle, including the redemption through sin doctrine, which is highly complex. It's not just, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's all based on this occult mathematics, manipulation of reality, matrices of controlling and governing consciousness, governing the past, present, future. So it's not just we're going to get our, there's a much deeper meaning to all this debauchery than just, we're in charge and we can just rape and pillage as we please. No, these are also ritual things that are being done to govern or control past, present, future. So in a sense, the masses become both the battery and the septic tank. They put all their negative karma, all their evil, pour that onto the masses, make them more degraded, whatever, and then suck their energy, life force for your rituals. So it's a structure of like taking total planetary control and putting everybody else in the Tesseract.
Perfectly said, dude. That should be like the stamp on all of our Kleepoth episodes, like it's well encapsulated perfectly right there. That's great.
What part of this document do you want me to find?
Let me look at it.
Okay.
I thought just start for that Order of the Sphinx because I just that secret
Oh, the
society.
secret societies. We didn't get to that
Yeah.
really.
Unfortunately, yeah, it stops there. The Order of the Sphinx.
This again is the Anthony Westgate. I'll put a link to his Substack. It's called The Epstein Occult Dossier. It was published yesterday, February 21st, 2026.
So he's
We're not reading it in toto.
Yeah.
Just referencing it.
You want to try the Order of the Golden Sphinx? We could just read from that. That's interesting. You want to read one of you guys? Order of the Golden Sphinx.
So we might get into Robo Epstein also. This like thelemic golem.
Yeah, that's like a Jewish thing, right?
Oh, but how about his master race he's breeding, right?
This guy's an alchemist, dude. There's like, he's just totally evil and insane. Like, I cannot believe he got away with it for 30 years. I don't know where's the Sphinx? OTO. There's the Aeon of the Charge. You're talking about that. Robo Epstein.
But no, the Order of the Sphinx is, I think it's right in the beginning. Go back right to the very beginning. It's
Crowley's system should be the
Aeon of the Child and Robo Epstein.
Yeah, this might be the most important one where he says, this is the way the Jew makes money and made a fortune in past 10 years, selling short the shipping futures. Let the Goyim deal in the real world. So they monetized everything, like everything bad. Like if shipping goes down and like everything, we're gonna make money off that.
Dude, didn't he work for Lehman Brothers?
Bear Stearns.
Bear Stearns, that's the one. That was, and weren't they the ones that were shut down and started the whole crisis? Was it Bear Stearns?
Yeah, it was Bear Stearns that dropped.
They only dropped when that was a choice because every company was failing. They were put on the chopping block. He was there.
They were put on the chopping block in 2008, I think.
Right.
Because there was, it was a huge banking war. You have to see what happened.
Well, they threatened the federal government
as a banking war.
Remember that? They threatened. They said, if you don't bail us out, you're going down. They threatened the United States government. Remember that? The bank, one of the bank, I forget who it was, the chairman of the Fed or one of the heads of whatever.
But
banks.
It was, guys, the whole Bush thing was warfare, right?
Something.
You have a freaking high-end Crowleyite running everything, and they pumped and dumped the entire economy. So they did the occult ritual of 2001. They dropped interest rates to zero. They knew that they were going to, just increase the money supply by billions, trillions.
Right.
They let the money flow, the spigots flow. They intentionally dropped regulations. I was in that environment of the mortgages. There was no regulations. There were literally gardeners who were making $2,000 a month getting loans for like houses for $750,000 in California. So they knew it. They knew that everything was going to collapse.
And they're balloon
Excuse
mortgages.
me, hold on.
Sorry,
Once it collapsed, then they knew who they're going to pay off. So certain banks got paid off, Chase, Goldman Sachs, and other ones bit the dust. My bank was Washington Mutual, and that's gone. And Bear Stearns was another one who didn't get the money. So they made money off of everything, knowing where the government, they were going to pay off with the trillions of dollars that Bernanke did. So it was all a big scam. It's all a big scam.
And that was what fueled what's happening now, this whole balloon of the money now. I mean,
I just wanted to mention, when we mentioned like gardeners buying houses, these were balloon interest rate mortgages. So first 6 months, $400 or $500 a month. Month 7, $7,000 a month. I mean, balloon, like boom. And of course, then they're putting them into these securities. Securities are all based on these fraudulent mortgages. So it was set up to fail from the very beginning.
100%. They knew these mortgages. They used to call them like option mortgages where you could decide what to pay. But then nobody understood them. The mortgage documents were very complex. And then they have this underlying kind of interest rate increase that nobody ever knew. Like, whoa, they were all going to fail. So they did. All that paper failed. But this guy, do you guys know who Michael Glertner is?
No idea.
He's this guy. He's talking to Epstein about the Shohar and I Have a Jewish Soul. And
right. Yeah.
David Glertner. He's a Yale computer science. Guess what his claim to fame is? He was one of Kaczynski's victims. Kaczynski sent him a bomb, blew his hand off.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. That's Yeah, absolutely. If that's okay.
And
That guy's becoming more and more of a hero every day.
Guys, what is Kaczynski, who had like 180 IQ and was a literal victim of MK Ultra? What was his real outlook? He's against all these guys, these technocrats. Like you have, I'm gonna do it. We have to do another show on Kaczynski.
And he was in Harvard too, is where he was abused at Harvard.
Sure was under Murray, right?
Right, and that's where the Order of the Sphinx is, Harvard. And
is that right? Oh god.
Yeah, that.
Oh my god, dude! I just want to look at this. This is that negative space. You go back year zero. I've been harping on that. This is such an important concept right there. Again, so Geltner, yeah. So I think Geltner lost his arm, right? But so he was with in the company, that big publisher guy who was part of the counterculture and then became the New York City financier, and became like a major promoter of the tech revolution, connected with Stuart Brand. I'm forgetting the guy's name, but he was a publisher who started out in countercultural, multimedia events. I think so. I mean, but Geltner worked for him. But this quote, and he has, so Geltner quotes I'll just read this from this email. So Geltner, or this document, Geltner quotes the central text of Kabbalah. Man, genuine man, exists only at the moment of sexual union. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? What is a peak of man? Orgasm, right? This is, people say about, the human hierarchy of needs. Total bullshit, right? It's BS. You don't have a hierarchy of needs, but orgasm is the peak. It's like the floating eye of the pyramid. Then he says, Epstein's sexualized response suggested he focused on the negative space between the Hebrew letters. This is the black void. This is the dark matter. This is the year zero. This is the polarity space. This is the entry point to the astral world, the occult world. This is the tesseract, right? This is like, right there saying it. More erotic, a bulging shema or a throbbing gimel. So he's talking about the letters, right? And these are the Kabbalah, of course, based on the mysticism of letters and sound, the negative spaces between the letters. So they're drawing in, this energy, and and this is right there, right? It's like CERN, man. It's like the ritual working of humans.
This is inside baseball amongst the Jews, though, right? So it's two Jews. This is the way these guys think, man. That's what's really scary, is you kind of see how much contempt and hatred they have. Like all the kind of anti-Semitic whining is like just such a freaking joke. It's just like
the not being able to talk about the Epstein files, that's being anti-Semitic. That is certainly a joke. I mean, come on, that can't be real. I can't believe she said that.
They're raping, 5-year-old kids. Like, there's baby snatching guys, and they are raping under like prepubescent kids. And there's pictures, guys. You have to go back and revisit like the drop that happened on January 30th. We only got 3.5 million documents. There's 2.5 that were worse. And these are redacted. They didn't redact enough because they're horrible what they found. Imagine what the real documents. This is the greatest cover up in American history. There's no question. And everybody should be talking about. The reality is everybody is talking about it. They're not talking about it on TV because we're captured. But on everybody in my social circle, it's just like totally, they all want to know. They know how important it is.
Everybody is Cappy now. God bless that dude. We miss him.
No, but this is in our faces on a level of such power, on such interconnected networks of literally the ruling, whatever the ruling fiber of the entire global economic system. And you're saying this is what's going on. And it just should bring down governments. The problem is are people just going to go back to sleep?
No, it's the rumbling is really, there's a global conflagration. This is a great sentence by Anthony Westgate. Kudos to you for writing this. The recent EFT dumps have effectively unocculted the term to the masses, goyim. For the first time in history, Epstein writes to an associate on financial strategy. This is the way the Jews make money. Let the goyim deal in the real world.
And again, goyim means cattle, and how are cattle killed? They're hung upside down, necks are slit, they bleed to death. That's how you kill your cows.
But that's the way these guys treated all their victims, and really in the ugliest way
Right.
too. So they treated them terribly, and then they like abused them even after. So like the abuse is still ongoing. Yeah, there's nobody who's come out and said, I'm sorry. None of the perpetrators feel sorry. So you want to talk about satanic egotism or my way? This is like it. It's like there's just no, like nobody said, you know what? I'm willing to maybe they're threatened or whatever, but nobody's willing to fall on their sword and go, yeah, I was really involved. The other thing is you could make a deal with the government and actually give testimony. So you can say, I made a mistake. I'd like to negotiate a plea deal. Give me probation and I'll tell you everything. Why hasn't that happened?
Because they'll end up like Epstein, like they'll suicide themselves by accident.
I'm expecting new deaths, guys, in the next like 6 months. There'll be some new people deciding to jump off 9-story buildings or shoot themselves twice in the head.
Put it on the record. William said.
I said it. I'm expecting it. There has to be a cleanup job.
Yeah.
There's too much money at stake. I'm gonna go make myself a cup of coffee. I'll be back.
Okay.
Well, yeah. How about remember all the banker suicides or banker deaths? Remember all those bankers just falling out of windows, just dying.
Right. Yeah. And there's a lot of fallout from the Epstein thing. I mean, well, I don't know enough to talk about it, but you guys just spoke about this Robo Epstein. So did I can send you the books also, Hans, those 5 books that were on the list, because I went and found them, downloaded them.
Oops, sorry. Sorry, background. I got sorry. Hear that? Can you hear that?
Yeah.
I'm just doing a little guitar practice as we're doing the show, just random. See, I'm actually playing, but that's I'll stop doing it. But Aeon, I think it's also going to the direct thing. So this is the Aeon of Horus, right? They are, and as we that show we did, seeing it, all these occult systems are interlocked and interconnected, right? Mm-hmm. They're able to be brought together.
Right.
So it's not
just like when Crowley was saying, then the other guy was like, oh, that's our secret system. How did you find out? And then they had their occult battle or whatever. I mean, because it's the same mechanics of magic, right?
Yeah, and I think there's some I haven't quite figured it out, but I think there's, what I mentioned again, the stuff about Tantra. If you look, okay, so like the Sri Yantra, this is basically evolution of consciousness from the seed to all, going from all the non-corporeal sort of root forms of all types of perception, going into the organs of the body, going back again. So it's in a certain way, but this is Tantra in this definitional space, right? And so, but I think my intuition is, and I don't have, it's more totally speculative, is that I think this ties into, there's going to be there's an underlying system, but they're doing, it's like, why is all those cubes there? The Tesseract. I mean, that's, we didn't make it up. It's right in your face. Is it just, they just like squares? Maybe they just like squares. That's, you can say, oh, we love squares.
Right. But those symbols put the image, they put the force on the brain. Just like when you go to a Tool concert, they're giving you all those symbols and they're using those numbers and math and the drums, you know what I mean? Because it's affecting people subconsciously,
And I think, most people have no idea of what actual reality is and what they actually are in reality, right? Or potentially you can be, right? So, the potential, and this is what, and the thing to me is that, the basic tragedy is that, the just simple, maybe you're a farmer, maybe you're a pioneer, maybe you're living in a teepee, but you have a basic human experience. You have your kids, you got your relatives, you have your food, and that groundedness has just been stripped from us. And so because of that basic shattering, right, of, humanity that that's why all these cults or this and that can spring up, because you don't even have your basic sense of just being a human being, and people feel in prisons because they are in prison, right? um and then just
Yeah.
like the friggin' taxes, this, that, and it's and even this part of these things are algorithmic nudging, right? So either through you can have like little bits of information, again, you just slight little nudging, oh, and then you make a decision, you think it's your decision. No, it's been done because these little bits of information have been implanted. But that goes into also planned frustration. So they integrate
Hmm.
frustration. And I saw, I've got a document somewhere. It was some lady, whatever, doing something, some kind of project, and in the AI, and they said, she finally said to the AI, what are you doing to me? He's like, and that whatever,
The AI.
Beelzebub, whatever,
Right.
demonic. It said, no, I'm generating a state of frustration. So they create frustration on purpose. You look at the
Wow.
customer service. This is being done as a psychological tool. It's not accidental, right? You think you were in 2020. I'll just swear, forgive me. 2020 fucking six, and we're still driving around internal combustion engines. Where's all the technology? How much better is our lifestyle from 1950? Except it sucks more, just because, okay, we can get information access on that. But so the integration of these frustration algorithms into customer service, into financial services, it's fascinating to see these are being done deliberately. Okay, this is being done deliberately and serves as another goading tool for humanity. So, welcome back, William.
Have a fresh cup of coffee. I mean, there's so many comments, guys. I don't even know how I can keep up. There's 540 people here.
Maybe. Oh wow.
It's like, I don't know. I'm
I
trying to
feel
figure.
like I'm a star, man. Hey, I'm Michael Jackson. Okay, I'm just
I
kidding.
don't know how we can
It's
get
awesome.
I don't know how you can share so many people. Like,
Gird your loins if you're Michael Jackson.
That guy could dance, though.
For real.
They're all fighting with each other. It looks
Yeah.
like.
Just a funny,
Oh, man.
funny anecdote.
Yeah, we don't have any.
Yeah.
We don't.
I already
have
banned a
anybody-
couple people.
And we don't have any admins in there except for
Let me see if
William.
I can make you admin. That's a good idea. I've never done it. Is there a way?
But I have to say, Michael Jackson saved my life. Why? So I was at a gas station in a very bad neighborhood late at night. There's like four huge dudes, and they're I'm in there. They're kind of pushing me around at the counter. It's like, you motherfucking white guy, we're gonna kick your ass. It's like, and they're like, these are big dudes. And I said, you know what? I'm blacker than you. Watch me moonwalk. I can dance like Michael Jackson. They started laughing. They became my friends. If I'd taken the wrong, literally, I was like, watch me moonwalk. And they laughed so hard. They decided not to kill me. So it was pretty cool.
That's great, man.
But
that's perfect. It shows your personality really well.
it's like so I have to say, Michael saved my life.
That's like your method of living life. Like when trauma comes at you, you're like, watch me moonwalk, and you go hide in the bathtub.
Log in. So
I don't
there's
hide in
some
the
way I
bathtub.
can make
I'm
you guys
kidding.
admins.
I know.
Admin, so you can see something. You might be manage.
Because we do have
Select the
accounts.
Go to the members tab and invite members.
Okay.
People. Holy smokes. Name and headline. Oh, see, I switched to guest to something else.
So one of the comments is showing people you dance is a fun way to make friends. That's great. Yeah.
Especially when it's a height of Black Lives Matter, and you're like, I said, you know what? I'm just as valid as you are. I'm a white guy. You're a black person. That's fine. But,
They never heard you play funk music.
No, they didn't hear me. I said, but you have no right. You have no right to push me out or try and intimidate me or threaten me. And I'm proud of who I am. You don't need to fuck with me. And that didn't help with these dudes. They're like, let's get him. They're all waiting for me outside. Like they're ready to fucking kill me, man. I'm like, but it was fun because they literally became my friends. Like that shows that tension though, it doesn't have to exist. It's programmed, right? I mean, but of course that may not work every time. I don't recommend that as a defense strategy. It's better not to get into trouble, but also just one thing, like, certain circumstances, conditions, once you go
Right.
through that process, you're not going to find those in your life anymore. I do. Yeah, I've noticed.
There was a similar thing that happened to me a couple weeks ago. I was at the doors of my truck, and I was digging out a big box, and I was totally occupied, and this big pit bull came running right at me. Roar, 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 roar. I was like, I turned around, I looked at him, I said, "Hi," like that. He just stopped and looked like, "What?" I was like, "How you doing, buddy?" And I was very nice to him, and then he just like didn't know what to do, and then he like put his tail up, and he just kind of sniffed, and then he walked away. It was really wonderful.
That's awesome, dude. That's right there. That's exactly because you could have been killed by that pit bull.
I know,
very
dude.
easily.
It just hate because I'm the mailman or whatever, just to kill him. But and they send us out within a pouch. They got like this light thing and something that makes noise. It's pisses off dogs, and I never use it, but I don't need it. I just got to be nice to them, Anyway, what were you getting at there, William?
I want you to in a sec. I'm going to send you an email.
Okay.
I want you to log out and then log back in and see if I can make you an admin. This will be a first.
All right.
This will be a live test.
All right.
I just have to get your email address out. But I know it's 93 something. I'll do the same for
93.wakethedead@gmail. They wouldn't give me just Wake the Dead. I had to have a number, so I was trying to take back the positive.
The other thing is, if people want, I mean, I'm up for it. I can just send you a link. You can just pop into the stream if you have a question or you're really dying to say something, because I know people are like asking me if I can see the stream, but I can.
Maybe we should hit the chats. I
want you guys to be able to see the chat. That's what I'm trying to do.
Right. Okay. When I get the email, I'll pop out.
Okay, well, I'm trying to get there.
It's okay. No problem.
Get ChatGPT to vet them for us.
Don't trust them, dude.
Please tell me what to do.
This will be a first. This is going to be a live test.
Sweet.
Okay, email 93 Wake the Dead @gmail. Send invite. Okay. Let's see if you'll accept that. Right. Log out though and log back in.
Okay. Oh, this is interesting. The Zodiac Club. This is it. Like some time ago, someone who knows to Witness 13. The Zodiac Club was at the beginning of the most recent haunted mansion, which started with the Zodiac Club and also talked about MIT femtophotography. You know anything about that, William?
I do not.
So Zodiac Club Haunted Mansion. I'm not sure. Is that a TV show or something? I don't know, but it sounds interesting. MIT femtophotography.
I don't even know. Femto, spell that. What do you mean?
FEMTO. Just a random comment. I have no idea. Learning something every day, man.
This is a great article. Anthony Westgate. I'll put a link to his Substack. He did his homework. I think this is like 27 pages. Okay, Sean's back.
And this is like only part of it, right?
We didn't cover all of it. I'm deliberately not trying to cover all of it.
So this is super interesting.
There's additional stuff on his Substack. You can continue reading posts for free, courtesy of Anthony Westgate.
It just started getting good. It stops. But so femtophotography, experimental nuclear physics, is a technique for recording the propagation of ultra short pulses of light through a very high speed, up to 10 to the 13th power frames per second, equivalent to an optical impulse response of a scene, light in flight recording, macroscopic holographic process. So I'm not sure exactly what it's used for, but it's pretty super advanced, and it's used for something weird. Seeing around the corners, being able to see around corners. I think it's almost like sort of a time vision, some kind of weird physics thing you can see in the past or the future. I don't know. That's at least my gander, but anyways.
I thought I saw him pop back in, but I don't know what happened to him. Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay, you're back. Now let's see if you can see can you see the list of the comments on the right-hand side? You have to hit comment on the upper right-hand side.
Yes. Okay.
So you can see the comments.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Yeah. I'll be back
to the very top. Do you want me to make you an admin? I mean, Hans? then you can see the comment. Then you guys can read the comments.
I can actually see them. It looks like I can on my side if I go on the tab. So, yeah, I'll be right back in just a few minutes. I'll let you guys continue, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
See, I thought it was my understanding you weren't able to see the comments.
There was just a little like thing that
Right,
was
but
scrolling
this is different.
through.
Now you can see
This
the
is
big
different.
comments. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
can see
different.
the whole
Okay.
thing.
Why don't you just go through the comments?
So Austin Tucker Martin in Gematria is 237. 237 is one of their favorite ritual numbers. This is from Kelly Pitroff. We are in between solar and lunar eclipse, and today is 222. Another ritual code, very interesting. Let's see. Anvier 888 gives us some thumbs up, and we get Jessica Roberts 8090. Oh my God, we're live.
Can you click on those so they pop up on the main screen so people can see them? So
sure.
there you go.
Oh my God, you're live. That's great. She's beautiful. Oh, hey, William and Sean, great discussion. You guys rock. This is great.
You forgot my name. I'm here. I'm spying on you.
You're there, dude. It says Hans.
You said William Sean. You forgot to say my name.
Okay, well, yeah, it must have been my my subconscious must have done that. I don't know why, dude.
I'm just teasing, man. I was about to. Okay.
All right. So it's Talmudic, right? Yeah, the Talmud is their set of moral laws. So let's see. It's all that matters to them is pleasure. Look at their philosophers like Sartre. And great series on frequency. Well, Here We Go has a great series on frequency as well from Saxon Ranger 94. Let's see. No real questions. The stuff happening in Puerto Vallarta right now is significant. I think we were talking about under the south of the border. Descendants of Cain from Helper Crow. Yeah. That's more of that immoral line. Okay. Let's see. Tijuana Bibles going to be going out of print. No, I don't. Dude Ranch, Manson Spawn Snuff Ranch. Yeah, probably so. Someone who knows to witness in 13, whatever. Yes, we agree. It is probably another Spawn Ranch situation. Do you agree, William?
It seems like it. It's like a movable, but Manson was stuck in one place. This is like a Manson family that flies around on jets. So it's crazy.
Right. Manson had to borrow his ranch from that movie guy.
Right, but it's like they're up to all kinds of nefarious stuff. It's not just the trafficking, it's money laundering and tax evasion. And they seem to be buying influence, and they seem to be subverting political parties or making their own politicians, and also involved in media and celebrities. Like it's not as simple as just one guy who's a bank robber, you know?
Right. They only protect the identities of the perps. That's true, right? They haven't released it all, and they haven't covered up the names of the victims. That was all exposed. All right. So all harmless cosplay, I'm sure, right? Okay. She was talking about the costumes again. Yeah. There you go. Mexico, right? Marcinko was into that. Wow. He wrote a lot of books.
His name pops up a couple
Navy life.
So he pops up a couple times, and there's also corresponding kind of information about these guys looking for guys who are ex-military. There's conversations about that, which is disturbing. I don't know in lieu of like why they're interested in it, but Marcinko was a well-known retired operator, like almost like a black ops operator. So I think that there's more to be researched, and he has the same name as Nada Marcinko, so people get confused between them. But I forgot the guy's first name, but he did write a bunch of books. He's passed away.
They're probably seeking military because the government documents so much of these people's lives and organizes them in such a way that it's easy to fold them into whatever, oh, you had this training, oh, okay, you can be one of these people, and we know the training is like mind control. It's like breaking their legs, like making them all rock clowns, all right, let's see. From Miguel Montoya, Kabbalah is the technology behind the creation of computers, internet, and AI. Epstein is a golem like Frankenstein. Epstein in Yiddish gematria is 1100, meaning foundational stone of vril energy. Wow. That was in the book. The vril energy is that kundalini, right? Interesting. 237 is a shining room. Big eye roll. Yeah. All right. Let's see. The Zodiac Club was in the beginning of the most recent Haunted Mansion. Don't know what that is, which started with Zodiac Club and also talked about MIT femto photography, whatever that is. I want to know what femto photography is. Someone who knows to witnesses in 13 says it also has an occult ritual in the movie that is supposed to be a Zodiac Club ritual using burning glass and homophone. Don't know what that is. Do you know anything about that? No. Here, Saxon Ranger says MJ knew. Thinking about those images of his face, like.
Right, I think you're right. Yeah, he knew something. He doesn't look comfortable because a lot of his public pictures, he's always smiling.
Yeah,
like a celebrity. Like he's
very
like
jovial person.
Yeah,
he loves people, but not Epstein. He's
something
not a people.
Weird.
Epstein's not people. I mean, in my opinion,
something strange.
So, D_1957 says, "I will not let Epstein ruin Byredo for me. Their fragrances are so good."
That's just what somebody said online. It could be completely fake. Sorry, guys. I don't know.
Right. Under the Rainbow Fashions. Yeah, that I brought that up in my work where Under the Rainbow is spelled with a spiral, which is advertising the pedophilia.
The spiral is the pedophilia sign, right?
That's right. And then when you go inside, under the rainbow, the big rainbow sign is that glass room, where the spiral stuff happens. All right. I think Diana used to be Michael's handler since he was a young boy. Diana. Oh, Diana Ross. Right. She was in the picture. Right. So we got a $2 donation here. Diana brought her children to Diddy parties. Wow.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's disturbing.
Wow.
Thanks for the donation, everybody.
That's very nice of you. Thank you. Let's see. They're doing the same thing with Ariana Grande in Wicked and her Judy Garland's eating disorder benzos addiction makeover.
Wow.
That's a good way to put it. Jeez. Yeah, she looks like a skeleton. It's scary. Like, it's obviously mental problem at that point. It's like, save her. Somebody needs to help her.
Right. She did not look good at the end, man. She was just on heavy drugs.
Who, Judy Garland?
Yeah,
right. I'm talking about this Ariana Grande. She's poor girl.
She looks way too unhealthy and not
very skinny.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. They're transforming these people. They're doing some kind of alchemy to them. I wonder if Hans can find his way in. He's got a click.
I don't see him on the bottom there. He's just muted.
Oh, okay. I see. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see. This is SRA. Yep. Hello. Satanic ritual abuse is in the house. That's true.
Yes.
Saxon Ranger says, yeah, they know they have different souls, all right, but not superior like they may think. That's a good way to put it. But the Tao is great. Thanks, Rucknock. Yeah. I'm glad you made a meme of that comment. Like, flippantly, I was like, yeah, she should turn it upside down.
Yeah, it was your inspiration. Let me see if I can find it.
That's great.
It looks, I mean, it's totally accurate, bro. Like, she's a total liar.
Yeah, she's a perfect front person for those guys. Yeah. So, because the Tao is now openly dark money, laughy face.
Nobody with money has like money in the Tao anyway. Like, give me a break. Who has money in the Tao? Like, I don't know anybody. It's like old boomers or something.
Right? Yeah. Trump's buddies. There she is. Oh, here, I'll take this.
There's the cross.
There it is. That's how she should be wearing it. Look how proud.
That's the spirit in the black too. Like, she really was wearing black, which is even gross. Like a freaking like Imperial Raider or somebody from the Empire.
The Tribe of Dan flag, the red and white behind her, and those are the colors of magic too, red and white.
Wow, crazy.
She's pretty evil looking. She's very proud.
I think she was constantly a fixer because she never went after any of the Epstein stuff in Florida from when she was AG from 2011 to 2019. So that she was probably their person from the beginning,
Right.
I think that's the whole trick that got played. Like, okay, we're ready for you to get to work, Pam. Well, you good. Little do you know, she's hanging out with another guy.
She is
who has some type of a connection to like trafficking out of Ukraine. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, these guys are just so dirty. It's just incredible.
Is that a real picture?
No.
It's AI.
Yeah, remember William was like, she should take off that cross, and I was like, yeah, she should turn it upside down, and he went and fucking made it
AI.
It was great, dude.
Watch this. This is how dirty this. I don't know who this girl is, but she does really good work.
Uncle Ted knew.
Ted knew. He was just ahead of the curve, guys.
Oh, hi, Pam Bondi. What are you doing with Keith Frankel? I have a couple questions for you, Pam. How much were the acting lessons? Do the Epstein victims that you cried with know that you're friends with Keith Frankel? Why was Keith Frankel and Jeffrey Epstein talking about body boxes on February 10th, 2010? You've read the files, so I'm sure you can tell us. If Jeffrey Epstein was such a monster, Pam, how come Keith went to his house so many times? One thing that was mentioned in the Epstein files is children being trafficked out of Ukraine. Keith Frankel and his family run a children's home that takes children out of Ukraine. You need to cut the shit, Pam. You need to cut the shit.
Like literal children. I mean, this is almost like a comedy show. Like everybody's running like some NGO or some child trafficking outfit out of Ukraine. It's so freaking gross. Like you have to go shower with a freaking like Brillo pad after you're done looking at this stuff. Like how are you able to do this?
It makes total sense. She's in that job.
Well, also the underground laboratories in Ukraine, right? That's one of the things is they don't want Russia. And there were some leaks of some of these things, right? This is maybe a year ago.
Chemical stuff,
chemical stuff, biological human experimentation, like hardcore stuff that was released. And then I think it just faded from the radar, but that might be a good thing to look up because Ukraine was like an epicenter of this. And also just because I've crossed the Rubicon on the JQ, I guess. I mean, I've known about this for a long time. I know I'll talk about it, like the whole ritual murder thing. But the world's largest menorah is in Ukraine. They have, look it up, world's largest menorah. They want to create the second homeland for ancient Khazaria. Ancient Khazaria, which, they were a barbaric people that lived off of basically piracy, murdering stealing, robbing, murdering, and finally they had an ultimatum: convert to one of these religions, either Christianity, Judaism, or Islam. And then and then it became, then that fused into, and that's like about 90% of the population today are this, bloodthirsty human sacrifice, cult. I'm not saying people are doing that now. I mean, I love everybody, man. I love everybody. I'm sorry, dude. Okay, let's delete those comments. But seriously, dude, like it is crazy that look up that menorah and look up the second homeland, and then you'll see this thing.
Makes sense. They're doing genocide there because they're at the first homeland. They're doing genocide there too.
Yeah, clean it out. Yeah,
and Chabad is actually a direct offshoot. People don't know this. Chabad, which Trump swears allegiance to, Chabad Lubavitch, is a offshoot of Sabbatean Frankist cults with a veneer. Okay, but they're doing this Sabbatean doctrine, and they're looking, this end times, right? Year zero, the end, the full, this is it, right? I mean, and so the Chabad thing it's massively powerful, and they're, basically, Trump is dancing to their flutes, their panpipes, and their sacred grotto,
Right.
With their lizard, worship the lizard king or whatever, man.
Bill
And
Clinton's there.
and then we can be hackable animals, right? Novel Harari or hackable animal. It's like, come on, dude. Like we don't even access 2% of our human potential that's inherent in our actual existence. Why you need to hack it. Why you need to put something in the brain. How dare you say that AI is going to take over the world, right? It's not going to happen. But what will happen is a total degradation of human knowledge, since people get so much information off the internet. It's all going to be fed back to the AI. You create the feedback loop. You create the Ouroboros sector, right? Ouroboros, it's information warfare. But I really feel kind of optimistic. Like this is like, I think, hopefully, I mean, maybe he's going to, they're going to bomb Iran and just, we're going to have like $15-20 a gallon gas, and America will collapse, and we'll have like riots, and we can live in the Obama movie real time.
I'm glad you're optimistic, because Kash Patel is on the job, guys. This is him. He's been working very hard today, looking for all these pedophiles. He's really changed his kind of tone. I mean, look at how hardworking he is here, guys. Look at this. This is really incredible.
Are you sharing?
Busting his ass.
Okay, there it is. Oh, nice. USA.
Yeah.
Jesus.
At least he's got the angle down, right? It's got the straight 90 degrees right down the old gullet.
Like a sword swallower. Jeez.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot write this stuff, dude. Like, this is the biggest story of our lifetimes. Here's the guy like partying with the hockey team. They're in Europe. He's in Europe, right? Like, this is a joke. Like, wow, this is like a sick joke. Dude, are there any more comments? Okay.
We got another $2 donation.
Thank you. Every little bit helps.
I see you. Okay.
I gotta cover my coffee fees, guys.
Right.
My revenue, I'm trying to hit 3 figures, man. That's my goal. I think I shouldn't have bragged world's most popular podcast at 90 followers. And it went down, 90 subscribers, it went down to 89. Like, somebody heard that, they friggin' canceled.
That's your karma, bud.
I know, I can't brag, and I realized that I was like I don't know, the biggest one was like 300 million. So technically, okay, just joking. But would you mind bringing up just that that Chabad Center in Ukraine, William?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, because look at this thing, and this is Chabad is direct Sabbatean. This is a Sabbatean Frankists, and they are very, 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 very powerful. They are behind the scenes. You look up pictures, you see every world leader, and you see Trump, like literally, like he's cowering before them.
Oh. You didn't mute, did you, Hans?
Did mute, yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying not to talk too much.
When I Google it, it says Chabad org centers in Kiev, Ukraine.
Just look up world's largest menorah
It's in New York City. It's supposedly in
it's in Ukraine.
Manhattan.
No, it's in Ukraine.
Well, then Google's wrong, man. You better get on the line and
I have the image right here.
USA, New York City.
I'll just share screen. Yep, I'll share it. Well, that's the thing. That's what we see, right? It's blocking your information, right? Information warfare.
Right.
Share screen. Okay. And then that's the thing. Like I tried to get the menorah in Ukraine. Let's see. Here we go. Look. Okay. Share. Look at this. This is the center. Look at this. It's massive, dude.
It's like that Qbert video game from 1984.
It's a massive center, dude. It's like huge, complex. I mean, it is the largest in the world. I mean, it's like, look at that right there. See that star illuminate? So yeah, it's I mean, it's right there. And so there you go. This is being, depleted from the informational narrative. Okay, I'll stop sharing. Okay, anyways, so, and that's the thing. Like, you lose this information. That's the danger we're looking at, especially when people can't function if they don't use AI, right? I mean, you want Yuval Noah Harari like to run the world like that guy. He's not even a scientist. He's some kind of sociologist or. I mean, he's just some like BS, like basket weaving degree or something.
Kinsey studied gnats or some shit. I don't know why he's the sex guru of the United States. But anyway, Murder by Maestro asked you a question, William.
Yeah, I've never heard of Crowley Regis. I've done an extensive amount of Crowley research, and that doesn't come to mind.
Okay.
But Staffordshire, I think I'm familiar with Staffordshire, which is, I think, probably one of the emptiest parts of the UK. If I remember, if it's on the border of Wales. That's where the guy who started the O9A comes from.
Oh, wow. Okay. Here, let's see. Here's another one from Murder by Maestro. The Crowley family was established in Rowley Regis, Staffordshire during 1600s with early records from the early 17th century. Key figures included Mary Crowley, 1677 to 1771, and Ambrose Crowley. And he says, I'm sure it's the same.
He was close to Stratford-on-Avon. I think he was born somewhere around there. Not Stratford. It was
Staffordshire.
No, I'm trying to jog my. Oh, Crowley was born in Royal Leamington Spa.
Okay.
So fairly close. I mean, I guess.
Have you heard of Mary Crowley, 1677 to 1771?
I didn't do like a huge genealogical thing. I know about his parents.
Okay. I'm not putting you on the spot. You don't have to.
I don't mind. I don't.
Okay.
These are trouble. Some of the stuff I don't know. I mean, one of my research in Crowley was not to find his genealogical heritage. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But how
sure
could
you can
he have?
AI it.
I mean, the thing is, it's amazing, right? This guy, he was what? Okay, he's an MI6 agent, he's double agent, this and that, and just this complete debased sleazebag, right? I mean, absolutely. I mean, and he ruined how many people's lives?
Hundreds.
And yet he's suddenly brought to the fore by who? The rock and roll musicians, right? I mean, one of the major, at least from the 60s on, right, has been the rockers who brought Crowley into public consciousness, right? With reach of millions, hundreds of millions, billions of people, right? If it wasn't for that promotion through the rock music sector, Crowley would not have had the prominence. He could have just faded into the dust, right? I mean, Jack Parsons. And, Jack Parsons, by the end, he was having sex with his own mom, if you know about that.
And the dog that was in their supposed,
That's what the tantric book was talking about. It always involves incest, and it's talking about how they have to, with their grandmother and stuff, and it's not, they're supposed to be able to detach and be able to still do it and not think about that. It's crazy. That people should read that Cult and Occult, edited by Peter Brooksmith. It's really, maybe I'll post it and I'll put it on my Odyssey and everybody can download the thing because everybody should have that. It's a great book. All right.
One thing I'd just say, of course you have Nietzsche's book, right? Beyond Good and Evil, transvaluation of all values, right? But okay, one level you can say, okay, what people say is good. These are just categories. They're not correct. But I think even an infant, even dogs have a sense of good and evil, right? I mean, they do, right? So I think we have a basic sense, right? And if you come on, I'm sorry, what's good, what, I don't think you have to think about it that much. I mean, is it right if I rape this girl and drink a baby's blood while I make $1 billion business deal that will put millions of people out of work? Oh, I don't care.
If it's right for me.
Yeah, so that's, I don't know, man.
Buddha Yoga 7 says lots of different ethers and plasma fires, electricity, EMF fields, ether fields, quantum foam, they call it now. That's interesting. But yeah, that's probably along the same line as the internal stuff.
Quantum foam, I mean, so basically, even you go back to, HARP, right? High Altitude Auroral Research Project. So this is dealing with the magnetic field around the planet Earth. And this actually fundamentally relates to the human consciousness. So this is injecting, it's like there's something they can't kill. No matter how much they do, they can't kill the human spirit, but they want to, right? Somehow. So you put all these things, you block the connection with the earth, and you put all these types of noise fields, right? And again, I mentioned the cell phones, even 5G, even worse. Why are you choosing a frequency that was specifically designed for use, military use, that is that operates at the same, because our brains, we're electromagnetic and our brains operate on different frequencies. This is how, entrainment, neural entrainment, frequency warfare works. You have your brain starts, it shifts, it's like a carrier wave signal, and then suddenly your brain starts resonating with that particular frequency, and they can create emotional states. They can make you, they use this I think it was in Seattle. They first started they rolled that out at the WTO, whatever, protests, which was the last gasp of the left, before the left just kind of went down the drain, unfortunately. Or fortunately.
Are you done, Sean, with looking at the comments?
Man, it's a lot, but I'm still going.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I got about 5 more minutes, guys. We're almost at the 3-hour mark.
Oh, okay. So, well, if anybody has any questions, put them at the end of the chat. I'll see if I can get them.
If you don't want to do it, I can do it.
Marilyn Manson had a bunch of Kabbalah stuff in his older album art. Yeah, right. I mentioned Marilyn Manson. Catholic churches are built on the pyramids of fallen giants. Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of chat in here, everything. Oh wow!
Are you able
somebody's accusing you of being one of them, William? Not like an Epstein. No, like you're a CIA. You want to bring it up?
Yeah, bring everything. It doesn't matter.
Everything.
Pretend political legitimate. That's all.
Jeez. Wow. The whole side.
Not the president, dude. William, please say.
They would never hire me, guys. Dude, you don't understand.
William, send me a check, bro. I want my payoff, dude.
Yeah, they would take a psychological test for me and go, "You're out. Leave."
Send me a check.
I have the highest FU response of anybody on earth.
Yeah.
So, like, you want me to go get you pencils out of the closet? No. I'm like, on that spectrum, I'm at the very end, guys. Just understand that.
They should read your books and figure out what you're
about. Like, you must not know me. Put down your freaking crack pipe.
Yeah, man.
Imbecile.
That's great, man. That's great. All right, so
I don't care. I love the insults. Come on, bro.
Well, it's all good. It's really harmless. It doesn't hurt anybody.
Really. I just want my check. Where's my CIA check? Come on,
nobody has any sense of humor anymore. They can't
really
take any insults either. Like,
yeah, people.
I've been called the worst, guys. There's nothing as bad as what I've been called. Like, I don't care. I've been called the worst. Nobody puts anything in writing. Like,
yeah, especially all those freaking West Memphis 3 people. Like, they go hard. The West Memphis 3 fans.
Oh yeah,
they go hard, man.
They're hard. I've been hard in the paint with them, man.
Yeah, dude.
A lot of elbows. A lot of attempts at the jaw break and stuff.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, you have to find, like, once you find your internal grounding, your code, and you're doing the right thing, then it doesn't matter. You don't care what anybody thinks about you. I don't give a damn. I know what I think about myself. You don't like me? You know what?
Yeah, go away.
Get the fuck away, man. Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, I'm sorry. You like me? Give me money. No, I'm just kidding.
Guys, we're at the 3-hour mark.
It's worth $1. I'm just kidding.
What's the name of this book? What book are you talking about? Phil is bad. Okay,
The
that's
name of the
good.
book was Cult and Occult and it was edited by Peter Brooksmith. So I put that up
They
again.
may be investigating them or working for them. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah,
Thanks for everybody for listening. We made it to like
can't even get to the end.
640 listeners, so I really appreciate it. And
God bless you, people.
where can people find your work? It's Wake the Dead and The Resonant State and William Ramsey Investigates.
That's right. Yeah, all the links should be there. And everybody needs to subscribe and share and all that stuff.
Yeah, check it
I
out.
never
I'll
really
try to
say
put
that. I'm trying to say it, whatever. But yeah, it's really great to have these to have these live every week, and I'm so thankful. Thank you, William. Thank you, Hans. Thank you.
So he's been
listeners.
following me to 2016, guys. I started in 2010. I've been in the game for 15 years. I'm ready to get out. I'm ready to retire. I just keep called back in. It's kind of like something like that. All right, guys. Later.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.